Welcome back to the Late for Load In podcast. I'm Chris. I'm here with my co-host Josh, and on this week's episode, we have one of my favorite people on the planet, Mr. Dan Braunstein, producer extraordinaire, and just the biggest fucking sweetie ever. I love him so. I've been very fortunate to work with so many talented producers over the years, and people that I feel like I've learned immense knowledge from every time I've worked with them. But Dan is hands down, to date, my favorite producer I've ever worked with. Just an awesome dude, unbelievably talented and creative, and he's just a genuinely awesome dude who he just gets it in every aspect. Just the best guy.
I didn't know him before this, but man, he was great. I was going to say the only negative thing about him is that he worked with you and that you liked him so much. Other than that, I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
But how do you feel about the rest of the guys in my band liking him so much? Is that okay with you? It's just the fact that I like him? That's the problem?
Let me think about this. Yeah, I think it's just the fact that you like him.
All right.
The rest of the guys are fine. They're entitled to their own opinions.
That's
yours
fair.
is worth zero to me.
Right.
So the fact that
I've got no argument here.
That's Dan's only negative mark with me.
I'm sorry, Dan. I'm blowing it for you. But we get into how Dan first got into music, and he got into music through more classical side of things from his mom, and slowly found his way into metal by way of discovering Meshuggah of all ways, and he ended up in the band Volumes, which many of you may know, for a number of years, and left early on to pursue producing, and that's just kind of the world that he has lived in since then. And he took a very less than, I think, standard approach for people who are doing producing these days, because he left the metal world that he was playing in to go produce in the pop world.
That's what I was going to get into. It was so strange. It was interesting to hear that, but man, what an approach to bringing it back. But and then coming back and now being a profound name in the rock and metal world.
Totally. And I think that it's that work in the pop world that has kind of helped him put his own stamp on,
I think so too,
producing, the rock and metal stuff, because he's able to, I think that the genre as a whole has kind of moved a little bit more in infusing the pop sensibilities into rock and metal. But I think that Dan's able to kind of do that a little bit better because he has the actual experience of doing legitimate pop productions. And if you are unsure of who Dan is, you for sure have heard Spiritbox, you've heard Dayseeker, you've heard Fit for a King.
The Ghost Inside.
You've heard the latest Ghost Inside record. And there's so many more other than that, but those are all records that Dan has produced, bands he's worked with. And it's crazy. We talked about getting 2 Grammy nominations with Spiritbox, and then found out that he actually had a Grammy nomination for a pop project that he was on.
Can you speak?
I can't, man. It's
okay.
It's
let me finish for you.
Right,
he had a nomination on a pop project that he worked on previously.
There you go.
Pop project previously.
There, you got it. You're good. I'm bad.
I should be your speech therapist.
I wouldn't go that far. But anyway, on that note, Dan is he's just one of my favorite people ever, just in general, just to hang out with. Part of what makes me love working with him so much is that he's just fun to be around. He's just always, he lifts the spirits in the room all the time, and just a positive outlook. And
hearing that, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Hearing that made me, and hearing his songwriting approach made me wish he could work with all of my bands, except for the fact that you like him so much.
Well,
sorry, Dan.
That's fair. I mean, Dan doesn't deserve that, but I can understand why you might feel that way. But anyway, on that note, I hope you enjoy this week's episode with Dan Bronstein. This episode of Late for Load-In is brought to you by Rockabilia.com, your go-to destination for 100% official band merchandise. No bootlegs, no cheap knockoffs, just authentic gear straight from the bands you love. From metal and punk to classic rock and beyond, Rockabilia has over 500,000 items in stock. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, patches, and even rare, hard-to-find collectibles. If you're looking for something exclusive, Rockabilia drops brand new limited edition merch every month. So if you see something you like, grab it before it's gone. And in fact, we just placed an order for some new merch ourselves. I picked up a very, very cool Linkin Park Meteora hoodie. Josh, did you grab something?
Yeah, I grabbed a couple things. I got a super limited Eminem tour shirt, and then what you mentioned, not missing out. I saw a Meatloaf tour shirt from 2005 that I really, really wanted. Unfortunately, I didn't have my size, so I missed out on that one.
Well, there you have it. Don't wait. Our friends at Rockabilia are hooking up Late for Load-In listeners with 10% off when you use code LOAD at checkout. So if your band T collection needs a refresh and you want to support the artists who make the music we love, hit up rockabilia.com, load up your cart, and drop in code LOAD, LOAD, for that sweet discount. Now let's roll today's show. Dan, Mr. Braunstein, welcome to the Late for Load-In podcast. We appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah. Sweet. Dude, I'm stoked, man. I'm super stoked to be here. Yeah.
But so Josh and I have known each other since we were actual kids. We've been friends for like 24, 25 years now. I played in my first band ever with him. And he somehow has put up with me this entire fucking time. I don't really know how, but
I've been forced.
That's just, well, that's
no choice.
You could have fucking dipped out whenever you wanted. That's on you.
How
man.
How dark can I go right now? Because
as dark as you want.
I can get really dark.
Are you saying you're only still friends with me because I got hit by a truck and you feel bad about it?
No, that wasn't it.
Okay.
But I was going to say
that was an easy one.
The universe
is punishing you for being a bad person.
Yes, maybe, but the universe almost took you out, but you survived.
Yeah, I lived to make your life hell. That's exactly what happened.
Exactly right. And now I'm saying that, so now I'm probably going to hell. But just move on.
You know, Dan, Chris, I was
nice to meet you. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It is great to meet you. I was going to tell Chris when he made the throw you under the bus joke, I was going to say something.
Someone already
really
tried
bad.
that. Someone already tried that. Yeah.
I felt it coming, but I didn't want to be the one to do it. So
that's how people can tell that you've spent a lot of time with my band, because you feel comfortable even thinking about jokes like that.
What we're saying is that we're all gonna be sipping ice water in hell together.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
It's a high likelihood. Anyway, yes. Dan, again, thank you for joining us. You're a busy dude, so I appreciate you taking some time to just sit down and chat for a minute in between all your Grammy-nominated records that you make these days.
Wow.
Damn, dude. Flattering me right off the bat. Thanks, man.
So you're famous. So you didn't say that when you started this.
Famous? Whoa.
Grammy nominated, buddy.
Yeah, so
careful.
Okay, all right.
Thanks. That's very nice.
How often is your manager throwing out Grammy nominated Dan Bronstein when he's giving quotes for records?
Honestly, I don't even look. I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe it's in his email signature at this point.
I'm just busting. I'm busting.
Who manages you?
Jonathan Rago.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. He's at Fearless too. That's my boy.
I know
that's
him.
my number one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay,
I've been with him for probably I've been friends with him since 2016 when I met him at Sam Pierre's studio. He was managing Sam, and then we connected. He moved down here, and he actually introduced me to another one of my best friends, Robbie Gardunia, who worked at the studio with me too. We're still best friends, and then the rest is history. He's my manager. He brought me my best friend. It's like we just have that
destiny.
That thing. Yeah. He's the kind of guy that he made a lot of stuff happen for me, which is great. You know, he helped everything go along the way. But yeah, he's the man, and I hope he brings that up. I don't bring it up much, the Grammy thing. I think it's awesome. It's usually me sitting in here, and then someone in the room will say something, and I'll just be like, yeah, totally that's great,
What does that actually feel like, though, when you're sitting in a room by yourself and you reflect on your early childhood days of dreaming to be in this business, to realize that essentially, you kind of Grammy nominated, obviously Grammy winning would be but even Grammy nominating is right. But it's kind of the pinnacle of this business. So what does that feel like?
Dude, it's crazy. I actually was, I got a nomination for my first time in 2015, I think, for this artist Gallant. Yeah, but it wasn't quite as official because I had mixed one song on his record that the record had gotten nominated. I believe Spike Stent had produced most of it, and I forget who mixed it. I should remember that and credit them, but I had mixed one song on his record, and so I was lucky enough to be like party to the nomination, but that one felt like not the real one. The Spiritbox one felt like the real one, and it was just like overwhelming gratitude, like overwhelming happiness, like so happy for the band and to be like, you know, getting something that with friends and an artist that like we kind of lift each other up together was like such an awesome feeling. You know what I mean? It felt, I think we all laughed and said that like we don't deserve it, but I think deep down we all like knew we did, and we all knew how hard we all worked. And just like reflecting on where it takes to get there. Like, I mean, it's just, you guys know, like it's a really tough industry, and the only way you can ensure any sort of success is just to not stop, right? Because there's always going to be like super high highs. There's going to be super low lows. As musicians, we're riddled with self-doubt at every corner. We're riddled with imposter syndrome and all these things that an artist deals with, right? So it's nice to have a firm accolade to say like, hey, like, all right, you're doing something right, and it just kind of fuels the fire, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you brought up a good point that I bring up to like younger bands or like aspiring bands who haven't, you know, gotten a record deal or a manager or whatever. Just like, you know, I worked with a lot of like smaller bands when I'm here at home recording and stuff. And obviously things have changed so drastically from when all of us were first getting into this world that like I can't give people an exact roadmap of how I approached things back in the day because it just doesn't apply anymore. But the main thing that I always give everybody, and I gave everybody back, you know, when I first got into Texas in July and started touring full time, this only piece of advice that's still the same now is perseverance is king. Like most of the time, the people who are able to make a career out of this are the people who were willing to stick it out longer than everyone else and keep working at it.
I just typed down your quote. Right now, I don't know if you saw or heard me typing.
I don't remember. What was it?
The only way to reach success in this industry is to not stop. And that's fucking.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not really even my quote, right? It's like a loose.
You just said it, so I'm giving you credit.
It's mine. I'll take it. Well, I was gonna say it's like a loose interpretation of like the famous quote of if you're going through hell, keep going type of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Which I've always been a big proponent of that type of mentality. And I think part of that is, you know, starting out as a band guy, you kind of have that. It's almost like ingrained in you. You're kind of willing to put up with a pretty high level of bullshit to get that dopamine hit of when you finally get to either release music and have people be really excited about it and see that response, or when you get on stage and you get to play it, and it's, you kind of like hold out through the really brutal moments for the great moments, and you're like, all right, well, I know this is gonna suck, but we have to do it, and we have to get to that end goal, which is, like I said, the stage or putting your music out. So that definitely, I think, is a big mentality, important mentality to have when jumping into this industry, you know?
Sure, absolutely. There's a great country song about that. I don't know if you've heard it or not, but if you're going through hell, keep on moving, or whatever the word is. I mean, whatever the line is. It's a great song.
We all know those like musicians or friends or whatever that, like, I don't want to say like they couldn't take the heat and like gave up, but it it almost is like that. I mean, it's like you see what happens to those who say, oh, you know, who let their pride get the best of them and say, oh, I'm too good for this, you know, or I can't deal with this, or this is too hard. And I always say too is like being talented is one thing, and like having all that talent available, natural talent, musical talent is great, but it's more important to be reliable, you know, to be someone people can depend on to get something done or make something better. I think that's important, and to just like I said, just keep going, persevering is insanely important, like more important than having the best idea. Because what's a great idea worth? A great idea that you don't get to finish is worth nothing because it never made its way out to people's ears. So I think it's about striking that balance of like, you got to keep your head down, be humble, like you got to take everything you can take and not be too good for it, and you got to just fucking keep going. And then also you have to have some form of talent, obviously, but
right.
Yeah, I'd say that I have a strong work ethic, and that's how I was raised. And
same.
I'm grateful for that, for sure. I know you guys do as well. So
you know what I do when I'm having a bad day? Go to sleep and start over tomorrow.
Sure. You got to just call it a wash sometimes.
Yeah, it's fucking part of it, right? Chris, I couldn't help but notice when I was talking about the country song, you had a shitty face and you were shaking your head in the no direction.
Yeah, you said, there's a good country song about that. Then you couldn't say the lyric right and didn't say what the song is or the artist. You're talking shit about something you don't know anything about.
Don't know the artist, but I think it's a great song anytime it comes on the radio. Do you know?
Nope, sure don't.
Okay,
I haven't heard either.
I didn't bring it up.
I'm gonna look it up right now. While you guys.
I also love how I'm in the middle of you. You literally placed my screen in the middle, so it's super weird because you guys are arguing and
arguing at you.
Yeah, it's really. I'm am I supposed to not be the mediator? Or am I what am I supposed to do?
You just let mom and dad fight it out and stay
just
out of the
chill,
way.
just hang.
Yeah.
Rodney Atkins, "If You're Going Through Hell" is the song, so you guys could both listen to it when you finish this.
Sick.
I won't.
Great track.
Yeah, I honestly probably won't either, to be real with you.
It's a great track. Just know that he conveys the quote that you just stole a little bit ago that I'm now crediting to you. He conveys it very convincingly in that song.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take your word for
real.
it.
All right, great.
Yeah. No, it's real.
Well, you've brought up that you started as a band guy, and I don't know, somehow in the time, I mean, I know what band you were in before, but
I don't.
Exactly. Josh doesn't. And for anybody else who may be listening who doesn't, let's even go back a little bit before that too. Where did you grow up? You're from California, born and raised, right?
Yeah. I grew up here in the West Valley. So I grew up in Woodland Hills, not far from where my studio is.
Nice. I have some cousins that live in Woodland Hills off of Shoup Avenue or Shoup something.
Dude, that's literally right down the street from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they live.
That's wild.
I grew up here in, I mean, where do you want me to start? I mean, I started with piano when I was very young, probably 2 or 3 years old. My mom was a musician, so she was always playing me classical music and stuff like that. Even from before I was born, she told me she would play me classical music when I was in her uterus.
Right. Dude, I did that for my son. I heard that was a crazy thing. If you played, they say classical because it's the most
high intelligence.
Yeah, that's what they say.
No, I'm glad she did. I guess I came out with a taste for music, and she had me get piano lessons, and I was able to pick it up pretty quick. And I was doing concert piano from a young age, maybe 5 or 6. I was, doing concert piano recitals and stuff like that. And then, I did some violin in elementary school. And I don't know, I kind of I always loved music. I loved piano. I hated practicing. I hated the rigidity of it. I hated how you were restricted to one sound. So I loved it, but I wasn't I didn't become fascinated with music until I started hearing rock music, you know what I mean? That was probably the pivotal moment. And you could say, the K-Rock and all that stuff, Blink-182 and Papa Roach and all those bands and Metallica and all those things kind of came all at once, I remember. And then, I got a guitar when I was 12 and switched over to that. And then that was kind of how I was okay, this is actually really fun to play. And it's more, there's a wider range of sounds, and I can play my favorite songs. I'm not just sitting here playing classical tunes. I can play rock songs.
Right.
So then that was kind of where I'd say my taste for heavier music came into play. So and then when I was probably around 12, I just started a band with my neighbors, and my neighbor played drums, my other neighbor played bass or whatever, and we just started a band. So I was doing it from super young, passing out flyers in my middle school, and I was the lead singer, 11 or 12, 13 years old.
You were singing?
Yeah. It was a 3-piece. I would play guitar and sing. And with a drummer and bass player.
What was the band that you first heard that made you gravitate to rock?
Dude, I see. I'm trying to think about it, to be honest. I was thinking about this the other week, and it feels like it was all at once.
Yeah.
It feels like that. Remember that time? It must have been year 2000.
Yeah.
2001.
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember you just said K-Rock, and I remember being so jealous of the West Coast because they would have the K-Rock. Was it the Wiener Roast or whatever it was, the big festival?
Oh, yeah, Weenie Roast, yeah.
Yes, I remember seeing that, and I felt like all the fucking good bands played it, and we couldn't go to that, obviously, so it was like, fuck, man.
But that was also, you're talking about a time period where you could, I mean, I've mentioned this on a few episodes, but it's so true, and I feel like we were all at like the prime age for this, but you could turn on MTV.
Yeah,
and
sure.
It wasn't just, hip hop and pop music. Like it would, I would turn on TRL after school and it would be like fucking Korn, Freak on a Leash on like number one on the countdown, like at Linkin Park. Like, you could go to mainstream TV and get these like bands that were teetering on the edge of like this underground world of music,
Dude, 100%. It was teetering on the edge, and that was the stuff being played for us like on the radio, right? But which was very heavy.
Yep.
But then, as we all also had that moment where we had that friend show us the next level thing, right? We all remember that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shit, hold on, my AirPod fell out. We all remember that, like
absolutely.
I feel like that moment to me is like vastly more important than the first band, because I remember the first band I heard that was heavy was Meshuggah.
Oh, sure.
That
was
heavy.
That
makes so many things that are about to come in your story make so much more sense.
that was very heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 12, I remember, and I was at a Jewish sleepaway camp. Because I used to go to like a sleepaway camp. Like my parents would send me over summer. I'd go for like 3 weeks and hang out with a bunch of like crazy Jewish kids. Like, and like it was in when I say crazy Jew, like those are two unrelated things. Like these just wild boys. I was Jewish, but it's like, you go to your Christian summer camp. It's just like a summer camp.
I went to a Jewish camp when I was a kid too, so I get it.
Yeah, dude, it was super fun. Like, I don't want to get twisted. Like, I had the time of my life there. I'll never forget it. Like,
mine wasn't sleepaway, but
okay, yeah, it was. Yeah, so it was in Simi Valley. It was like over here, still in the sort of LA area. And yeah, I had a friend one time who was like super advanced, and I was listening to Metallica. I probably had the Garage Days album on my CD player or something. I was listening to some like crappy Metallica, like not even good Metallica.
I would be careful saying those two words in the same sentence with Chris. He gets very offended.
Look, Dan you love Metallica?
Yeah, I love Metallica.
Okay, yeah, but Garage Days is not a good album.
See? And it's everyone okay. I still appreciate some stuff on there, but it's certainly not the best. Josh doesn't know anything about Metallica, and that's why he's running
at all.
He doesn't get it.
Okay,
but Chris
is like
you know how the singer Godsmack had the sun tattooed around his belly button.
Yeah.
Chris has the little Metallica square thing tattooed around his belly button.
I do not, but I would,
bro. No, but I get it, because I was but before this, I was obsessed with Metallica. It was kind of tandem, I would listen to Metallica, and so my buddy that was in the cabin with me was like, "Oh, you like Metallica? Listen to this band." And he plays me New Millennium Cyanide Christ by Meshuggah. And it was the live version. It wasn't even the recorded version.
Right.
And he was like, dude, these guys use the craziest time signatures. Like, this song's in 16/7. And I was like, what? So he made something up. Like, it's not, because that's when you're young and you hear advanced music, you just think, oh, they're doing something advanced. It's not till later you find out they're doing something just very simple and groovy.
Right.
But he played me that, and then I was like, damn, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. And then after that, it was like I heard the pinnacle of it, and then I had friends show me like As I Lay Dying and the Acacia Strain and all those bands that were, to me, it was like I already had the palette for it. So then it was just like, bring it on. Like, I'll listen to all that shit. But yeah, it was like that, and then of course there was like the more Seosin-esque type stuff, Seosin and Circa Survive and Misery Signals later, and getting into more of the melodic end of things as well. So yeah, that was kind of like my musical like palette, as far as like how I developed at a young age. It was more just like all at once, all that stuff just bucket dumped on me.
I mean, I feel like I know you mentioned like the Acacia Strain, they're an East Coast band, but I feel like you were in the perfect part of the country for like discovering all of that kind of stuff. You brought up As I Lay Dying, like they're fucking, right down the road from you, basically in San Diego. I don't know where in California Citizen's from, but like that's another California. Like you were like in the prime spot for all of the bands that were like kind of shifting the landscape of like the underground, like metalcore, whatever thing that was happening at that time period. Like you were like right in the middle of it,
dude. Like for real. Like I always talk about this. Like, I feel like this specific area that I grew up in was like the perfect breeding ground for these types of music to evolve, because there were great musicians everywhere. Like, all my friends were musicians. Everyone was good. Like, the bands that were 15 years old in this area were like amazing. We'd go to shows all the time. There's a venue called the Cobalt Cafe, which is super legendary around here. A lot of bands got their starts there. Ghost Inside played there, but I think that was right before you joined the band, Chris.
What year would that have been?
2012.
Oh, it would have been like
no, wait, no, 2010.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah, the way before I joined.
Yeah.
Okay, way before. Okay, were you 2014?
20. My first tour 2015.
2015. Okay, so yeah, it was 2010, 2011. But that was even the later days. Like, even when I was in middle school, there was just this huge community of bands. Like, everyone was in a fucking band. The bands would play at our like high school or middle school, like recess, lunch, on stage. Like, heavy bands would play, like experimental, dope, like metal bands. These kids are 14 years old, 15 years old. They all ditched school and came just to play, and then they'd go ditch school again. Like, and these were the kids that we sort of grew up around, and it was just like almost everyone I knew played music. So forming bands was super easy, and everyone would just kind of trade musicians among their bands.
Right.
Sure.
So it was just a really cool community and breeding ground over here. It made it really easy for me to like figure out what I wanted to do, like, which was obviously, I was like, yeah, I want to be in a band, I want to tour and do all that stuff, but I also want to record and produce these bands. And
so you knew that from the beginning?
Well, I learned it after I was forced to, I guess, because, when you're in a band and you're 15, 14, you have no money or whatever, you have to record your own demos, and everyone would be like, hey, Dan, your mom has a tape recorder. Like, will you borrow it? Yeah, fine, I'll borrow it. And we would just record 4-track tape recorder with like a little shitty Yamaha, like, drum set, and plug a line 6 pod in that I got from my bar mitzvah into like the into the tape recorder, and like but that sort of morphed into like, damn, this is really fun. Like, I love like putting everything together and working with people and stuff like that. So it kind of turned from like a necessity of I have to get my band something recorded to like I'd be down to like do this,
right.
But yeah, it just kind of like fell into my lap, I guess.
No, how did your parents respond when you gravitated to music like this? And being a professional musician, or in our industry at a professional level, is kind of like not the ideal thing. So how did they respond?
Oh, dude, I mean, my parents were super supportive of me. Like, I always tell them, like, this is all because you guys let me pursue my dream. You know what I mean?
Right.
My mom especially. So my dad is a doctor. So first of all, he would always tell me, whatever you do, don't become a doctor. It's gonna fuck your whole life up.
Yeah, sure.
He told me that he's had so many life problems because of that, the stress and the marriage problems and blah blah blah. So he'd always tell me from a very young age, I'd be like 10 years old, I'd be like, Daddy, I want to be a doctor like you, and he'd be like, whatever you do, don't be a doctor. Duly noted. Then what, right? But no, my mom always totally encouraged me to do it, and God bless her soul, God bless her heart, not her soul, her heart. She's alive. God bless her heart. My amazing mom. I saw her yesterday for Mother's Day. Yeah, good. She let me like record bands out of my bedroom in her house for like freaking 10 years. Maybe a little more even. So we would have bands just like coming in and out all the time, like coming up her stairs, like invading our space, smoking weed in the backyard, rummaging through our fridge, rummaging through her, our food and making a mess. And she was like totally cool with it. She'd come and like bring us cookies, there's like 5 dudes sitting in my room with like fucking tattoos everywhere. I'm like, 16, these kids are like 20 years old or whatever. And my mom's like walking in like, hey guys, you want some lemon squares, like coming in, like offering, like just like she like loves to bake, but because she was chill, she was just super chill with it, being loud and let me just go for it.
Right.
So that, because I know a lot of parents can be like, hey,
Get a real
you're not
job.
allowed. Yeah, get a real job. Like, you're a loser. No, she let me. I got like internships instead. I got internships with different people and like different random jobs and stuff. But like, I was still able to generate some money just recording like really bad sounding like LPs for local hardcore bands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think they saw that at least, all right, you're making a little bit of money when you're this young, just on your own. So we'll let you roll with it.
It's awesome. It's fucking great.
Supportive parents like that are everything. Like I know that,
absolutely.
It's not something that everybody gets. And, there are for sure people who have been successful in our world who don't have that. Probably more often than not. But I was blessed to have a very, very, very supportive family that, I lived at home all the way up until like, 6 months.
Still does. Oh, okay.
Up until like 6 months after the accident, right? Like, I had been touring full time for like 6 or 7 years at that point, and like, still coming home and living with my parents, but they never they never told me I needed to like get a real job. They never like shamed me for like going after my dream and then, coming home broke and like, going back out and doing it all over. Like they never once, told me I shouldn't be doing it. And I for sure wouldn't be here having this conversation with you right now had I not had the parents I had. Like, not a chance,
You know what? If my wife, but my girlfriend at the time didn't have her own place, I probably would have lived with my parents until I got my own house.
Yeah.
Because, fuck, I was on tour full time. It didn't make sense to have a place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just let me. My dad was not so fond of it when I transitioned from sports to music. He's a sports guy. I'm a sports guy. I don't know how my son is super into sports and, he plays travel soccer and all that. And now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I don't know how I would respond if he said, you know what, I don't want to play sports anymore. I'm going to start a band.
That's crazy.
You would probably be exactly like crazy. Dan's dad, and you'd be like, don't ever go into music.
Yeah, that might be what I would do. I don't know. I haven't ever thought about this until it's like falling out of my mouth right now. But my dad he was bummed he wouldn't say it. He probably would never admit it right now because he's, proud dad, but he definitely was not stoked at first. My mom was always, she's into punk rock and all that shit, so she was always fine with it, but yeah, he was one that was supportive. Yeah, he was not stoked.
Like sports and music, those things are like oil and water, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, and I was going to say it's uncommon for someone to be into sports and music. I mean, to be playing sports and
I feel like music. It is. Yeah.
I had to make a choice. I was really into baseball. I was really good at baseball. And when I got to high school, it was like, do I join my high school team and practice 7 days a week and play games, or
do you hang out with the losers and skip school,
or do I continue doing the band with Josh and pursue doing music? Like that genuinely was a choice I had to make. I was like, well, I guess I'm done baseball. Like there wasn't another option in my mind. I don't know. So were you already producing bands by the time that you were playing with Volumes?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So when were you in Volumes? Because I TM Motionless forever, and I feel like we toured with Volumes a couple different times.
Yeah, I didn't tour with them much. I basically was around for, once again, like to continue even on the lore of the West Valley and the musicians here. Like that band was assembled essentially from some of my neighbors and friends, which was Gus and Diego, who lived across the street from me pretty much. Like I could walk to their house in like 5 minutes, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And so basically the lore extends in a few directions. I was in another band called The Unborn with my great friends from high school, and we were like, you'd call it like pre-groove metal. The word gent didn't exist. It was like groove metal. I was probably 15 when we were in the band, and we were listening to like trying to emulate like Meshuggah and Bulb and stuff like that. And the Faceless, we wanted like death metal and some gent. It was like kind of all that. We were like, what's the new thing? Trying to do all that. And Gus was our screamer. So Gus from Volumes. So he was originally in our band. And then I met his brother, Diego. Rest in peace.
Yep.
He was just like a really enthusiastic, super talented musician, and me and him both shared that like passion for the same type of music. So we're like, hey, we should start a band. Where are we going to get our band members from? And it's like, well, easy. He was in a band called Theoria, which had Michael Barr as their screamer. We're like, hey, Mike, 2 vocals, let's go. You and Gus. Then it's like, cool. My friend Chris on drums, our friend Rod, he was like their weed dealer and best friend. Let's get and he was a bass player though. He had played bass in a few bands, but he was just like, notorious for like being that guy, and he was just a genuinely liked person around the valley.
I fucking love Rod so much.
Dude, he's the best. He was like everyone's best friend. He was everyone's drug dealer. I mean, I didn't do drugs at the time at all. I didn't smoke weed, but all my friends did, and he was the guy. And but I loved Rod, and we were just like, dude, yeah, come on in. And then my buddy Daniel Schwartz, who ended up touring with Volumes a lot later, he was a huge part of the inception of the band as well. So he was always there, like writing and helping us do stuff, and then eventually joined the band. Like later doing a lot of different things for them, drums, guitar. So there was like 6 people involved in the whole band, maybe 7 with me included. And that was kind of how it got started. And then, we started, we got in with Baron on Media Scare Records. He gave us a shot, put our album out, however people may feel about him, he gave us our first chance, and
sure,
I got him to sign us, and he was cool, and until obviously things weren't, and that's what it is. Right. But I don't have any grudges. It's just ancient shit, and it was just really cool because it just happened super just naturally. Like it was it just happened. We made a demo, and that demo was called The Concept of Dreaming, and it was like the first thing we did, and it never got re-recorded. It was just I lost the files, so we just put the demo out. That was the first album. Like the label was like, "Hey, we want to release this. Can you guys like record it?" And I was like, "I don't have the files. Can you just put this out? Here's this." All I had was a fucking burned CD.
Right.
And they're like, "All right, yeah." It's like
crazy.
Okay. So it's just a demo, it's the old days. Like you just put out the demo. Who cares? I mean, things didn't need to sound so processed back then.
Right.
Our ears had more tolerance for like imperfection and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So that was the inception of it. And eventually I like parted ways with the band and was still helping to write and create. And like Daniel Schwartz took over and like kind of like manhandled like multi-instrumentals shit for the band, like drums, guitar. He'd switch off for tours, and they kept going. And I've recently reconnected with them, and we're actually finishing a record right now today. Actually, they're coming like literally right after this.
Oh, cool!
So,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
You have to give Rod a big smooch for me. Texas did a tour with them. I don't remember. We did a couple with them, but there was a tour where I like upgraded my wireless system on the tour, and I gave him my old one because it was still working. And literally once a year, every year, he'll just message me out of nowhere and go, "Remember that one time you gave me a wireless system for free? That was sick." We won't have talked for an entire year, but he'll just text me and be like, "Remember that time you gave me a wireless?" I'm like, "Yeah, Rod, I remember, bud. I love you too."
So good. So good. I haven't seen him in a while, actually. He's going to law school now, and he's becoming a lawyer.
Yeah,
so.
He's doing big boy shit. I'm stoked for him. That's
big
awesome.
Boy shit. Big boy shit. But yeah, I should see him later.
I was gonna ask, and I'm curious to know from your perspective, where and when did the shift happen from our ears being less tolerant to the more polished and cleaned up stuff? Like, why are we so programmed now for what's the word I'm looking for? For
perfection.
anti-perfection, though.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Honestly, I was thinking about this the other day because when you go and listen to some older recordings, even just something from like 10 years ago,
right?
You listen to something from 2014 and you can go like, whoa, that guitar is like way out of tune.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, that vocal's flat. Oh,
Dude,
that drum is like unquantized. Like,
there's been a couple
crazy,
records that I like obsessed over growing up that I listened to probably hundreds of times, you know, as like a teenager, that I haven't listened to for a while, and I've gone back and listened to in the past year or so and been like, whoa, I didn't realize how sloppy some of this is.
I want to do it with Suicide Notes. Since we had that conversation with Brandon, I want to do it with that record.
Yep.
Because you guys were talking about how it's almost unlistenable, weren't you?
Yes, Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses is a very bad sounding record.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh man.
We did an episode with Brandon from Atreyu, and he was talking about how he like can't listen to he actually can't listen to the one after that either, The Curse, which I think is like fine for the period it came out.
Yeah, that one's okay.
But Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses sounds bad, real bad.
Good.
But and you know what? Yeah. And I feel like I remember even back then being like, these songs are cool and this band is cool, but man, this record sounds bad. I feel like I even noticed it back then, you know?
I loved it though.
I want to try to answer your question. I want to dig on this one. That's like that's an important question because it's more than a question. It's like you're asking is more than a question.
I have a follow-up to it too once you dig in on that, because I think that this is a thing that's becoming more talked about in general right now.
Because it's getting to a point now where like if shit isn't perfect, it's trash.
It's not. But the public perception.
But I'm saying the perception of it is trash. Is what I mean. Like
but is the public perception? This is why I'm very interested in this topic because I feel like it's like a thought experiment of like, are we like, well, I guess first off to expand on your question about like when did it happen, I'm gonna say that I believe pop music was the culprit. Okay. When pop exploded in 2013, 2014, 2012, whatever album Teenage Dream came out. I don't know when that was. When did that album come out?
Is that Katy Perry?
Yeah, that was probably 2010 at the latest, I would guess.
2010. Okay, so that started it, right? So yeah, I'm actually very curious. I'm gonna look this up really quick.
I'm Googling it right now.
Yep, same. Because I feel like it was
later. 2010, damn, solid.
2010. Okay. 2010.
August 24th, 2010.
Let's say it started around then, but and those songs were wildly popular for like a good amount of time after that. And then we had Kesha. I want to say like Dr. Luke. Dr. Luke was like one of the pioneers of that super clean pop sound, right?
Yeah.
There's Dr. Luke and there's Max Martin and there's those guys, and like I think that the super clean pop sound and everything being like, you know, vocals stacked on stacked, super, super edited, super quantized, songs just immaculately clean. Because like even band people and people in our scene in the metal world were still into pop music, like always.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And speaking like personally, I sort of took a departure from heavy music for a while to actually pursue a career in making pop music, and working with my buddy Daniel Shorts from Volumes. Like he got me into producing pop, and we would work on developing artists together. And like, so we always had to have an ear on for like what was acceptable. And I noticed that, vocals started getting more and more tuned. The retune speed on autotune kept dialing up and up and up and up. And like, I'm talking like, well, I don't know. This isn't really like a tech podcast, so I won't even go into it.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Vocals got more and more tuned. And I think that was the first thing. And then the overall sound of pop got cleaner and cleaner. And then what happened was a lot of people, myself included, that went back to rock or were doing rock or whatever, or bands that are trying to make the next sound, Bring Me the Horizon and like Jordan Fish. And those guys are like, all right, we're going to now incorporate these elements we're hearing in pop back into this genre. Right. So it's like, I'm going to take a bucket of this and dump it into our genre. And then eventually I feel like they kind of merge together, where I think pop and metal around like 2017, 2018 really started to like fuse together. And I loved doing it. Like to me, it was super fun. Like it was like this huge like playground of, wow, if I always say like I could be like the worst pop producer in LA, but like the best producer in rock. If it's not a 1-to-1. Like the standards at that time were so low in rock production that it was like, if you brought in like a basic drum loop from a pop song and put that in a rock song, that's like, whoa, like, holy shit, that's groundbreaking shit, you know?
Yep.
So I think it had to have been around that time, I want to say, between the 2017, 2018, maybe even as early as 2015. The shift definitely happened, and then now where we're at is productions are super clean, and that's just what we're used to hearing. And if there's any, like you said, if there's anything less, maybe someone won't like it, but maybe not. Maybe now we're just afraid of like going back.
Right.
You know, maybe there is room to make things a little more human now. You know, maybe people are craving that. So,
well, that's exactly where I was going. Is I feel like that is a thing that's happening. Is I see people talking about it on, you know, and I'm scrolling Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I over the past couple months, I've seen like an increase in people being like, everything sounds the same. Everybody's using the same samples. Everything is 2 on the grid and blah, 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 blah. And I do think that there is this like bubbling up of people wanting those like more natural sounding records or at least maybe more natural performances. I don't know, but I feel like we're on the verge of some other like sonic shift in like heavy music for sure.
I was going to ask what's the breaking point? How do we get it back? Like, how do we get that to where we can be natural again? Because it's not only in recorded music, it's making its way into live music too. Like every band almost has to be perfect or they're not good live.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's a super good question and another like thought experiment. But like, the more I think about it is like, I feel like it's almost like maybe it's more of that there's just room for it to coexist at the same time. You know, maybe it's not one or the other. I think rock has entered a zone where it's bigger than it's been in a really long time. It's definitely bigger than it has been in the last 15, even maybe 20 years. You know, I mean, I'd say in the early 2000s, it was a huge deal when we were talking about, you hear it on the radio, and now we're like kind of getting back to that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know. I think that there's certain bands that prove that that you can do something different and be famous, as well as you can do something the same and be famous.
Yeah,
I think there's enough listeners now for there to be variety in rock music. Whereas I think we're so trained as people that have been in this for a long time to think, oh, there's only one type of fan. Like, are they going to like this or are they going to like this? But I think that what we're failing to realize is that there's so many new fans that have so many different types of like new preferences, and they're open to so many types of new things that I think we don't realize like how much more potential there is. Like that it's not just like, man, we got to get back to this, but it's like, oh, we can make a huge variety of things and people will be open to it. So like that's what I always say too, is like in the studio, I'll say like, it's okay to put some variety on your album. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to have like different types of songs that maybe in the old days you'd say, oh, well, that song doesn't sound like our band, but you know what I mean? But like, maybe it's okay. Like when I was trying to force you guys to do that Burning Out song thing, you know, and it was like,
for sure.
Shit. Everyone was like, shit, that doesn't sound like our band at all. And I was like, I know, but it could, like, that could be a part of your band. You know what I mean? So so there's like the super long answer of that, in my opinion, is to summarize. I think that some will go back to a rougher sound, and there will be listeners for that. Some will go to an even more poppy sound where it'll be just hyper pop dubstep with guitars and fake drums, and then some will be in the middle, and there'll be the Sleep Tokens with the 6-minute songs, and there'll be the, you know, whatever. I think that as long as the fans exist, there's always going to be a space for something new, and this genre is growing. So I'm an optimist when it comes to that, for sure.
So what needs to happen is on the next Ghost Inside record, they need to record an old school hardcore album.
Nope, I quit.
Well, no. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's musically. I'm saying is it sonically the right term?
Sonically, I quit.
Sonically.
Dan just quit our record before he even officially signed on.
I just closed the laptop.
So you're part of the problem, then, is what you're saying.
I'm a huge part of the problem. If you want to talk about like overproduced rock music, like you're talking with someone who makes a point to overproduce rock
Really?
music. You know?
Yeah, I'm not overly familiar. I was actually talking about Chris being part of the problem, but
Oh well,
I'm going to let Dan take the fall on this one.
if you're
I'll take it.
If you're going to get in the boat and help him paddle, then that's on you. I didn't put you there. You're putting yourself there.
Dude.
I am. I think kind of like Dan. Of like I think we grew up listening to a lot of the same music, and a lot of the music we grew up on in the heavy world, like, didn't have a lot of that like production stuff. You know, I think.
Yeah.
You know, the first band in, you know, like the rock new metal world that was doing that stuff, that like a lot of it that I can think of, and I'm sure I'm going to get flamed for this because I'm sure there was somebody else, but like the first one that I can think of doing it on a major scale and made it like really popular was like a Linkin Park or something like that, you know?
That's what I would have said. Yeah, of course.
And it slowly trickled its way in, and at this point I'm just like, whatever suits the song. If the song feels like it should just be fucking bare bones, like ass beater, cool, do that. If the song feels
100%.
like it's calling for some fucking synths and like, you know, some sort of drum loop, whatever, dude, just do it. I also feel like over the past couple of years I've just become less worried about what is like, I guess, quote unquote, acceptable for a band within like the rock and metal genre to do, and I'm just more so in the favor of like what's cool to me. You know, like that's all I really care about at this point, you know? So if that makes me part of the problem, Josh, yes, I am. Today's show is sponsored by Bestronix Pro Audio. Let's be real. Your rig is only as solid as the cables running through it. Whether you're touring the world or building out your dream setup at home, you need quality cables that won't let you down. That's where Bestronix Pro Audio comes in. BTPA specializes in full tour rig builds, custom cabling solutions, and if you're the hands-on DIY type, they've got bulk cable and connectors so you can wire up your own setup exactly how you want it. Everything they make is road-tested, built to last, and trusted by the pros. And because you're part of the Late for Load-In crew, BTPA is giving you 10% off your order. Just use the code LFLI10 at checkout and save on the best cables in the business. So don't let bad cables kill your tone or ruin your set. Hit up btpa.com, lock in that discount, and keep your rig dialed and ready for the road. Attention musicians and aspiring music industry folks. For nearly 2 decades, Launch Music Conference and Festival has been gathering thousands of musicians, industry professionals, and music fans together for a weekend of learning and playing together.
Launch focuses on industry education by day and live music by night, with over 100 acts over 3 nights and 2 days of educational panels and networking with some of the most learned, approachable, influential, and aspiring industry pros.
Get to Launch and launch your career to new heights.
Party with the most fun people in the world and see tons of bands across all genres.
Take part in Launch in Dallas, Texas, October 2nd through 5th, 2025, or Launch in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, April 23rd through 26th, 2026.
Submit to perform, register for the weekend, or get music passes and tickets now at launchmusicconference.com.
We all know that music isn't just sound. It's connection. It's healing. It's everything when you're feeling lost. That's why Late for Load-In is partnering with Heart Support, the nonprofit founded by Jay Klurs of August Burns Red to bring real, free peer support straight to you.
Are you feeling down and need someone to talk to? Just text Late for Load-In to 1-512-647-2871 and get connected with someone who understands. Someone who gets how music pulls us through the hardest times. It's totally free, totally judgment-free, and 100% about supporting you through the music we love.
And if you're in a good place right now, you can be part of healing the scene. Heart Support is looking for volunteer repliers, fans like you who want to help others through the power of music. You'll be trained to support fellow fans who are struggling and join a community built on connection, mental health, and the music that keeps us going.
And again, if you need support, text Late for Load-In to the number 1-512-647-2871. If you want to be support, sign up at heartsupport.com/volunteer. Together, we're making this scene stronger.
Today's episode is brought to you by you, our incredible listeners and patrons over at patreon.com/LFLIpod. By joining, you'll get early access to episodes, exclusive monthly giveaways featuring rare memorabilia from Josh and I's time on the road, and access to our patron-only music review and reaction live streams. But that's not all. You'll also get into the Late for Load-In Road Crew Discord, where you can connect with fellow fans, submit guest requests, and drop your questions for the show. The best part? It's just $1 a month. If you love what we're doing and want to help keep the show rolling, head over to patreon.com/LFLIpod and join the road crew today. Now, back to the show.
No, you just hit on some awesome stuff though. I love that. You just said like, those are a few things that like I say a lot. Like I think I think that the North Star should always be, do I like this personally?
Right.
Right?
Sure.
Like when you're
Absolutely.
creating music, if you're an artist, you know, you run into this all the time in the studio, and whether it's externally or internally, you know, kind of coming to terms with, okay, am I making this for me or am I making this for someone else? Am I making this because I want to like get a hit song or be popular or even be cool, like be considered a cool band?
Right.
And I think you can go that way. You can think of those things, but it's a lot harder to be like, all right, what do I like? Like, I'm going to make what I like. That's hard, right? Because what if sometimes you don't know what you like?
Right.
Because that's okay too, right? Like, even saying, you know, if we're sitting here working on a Ghost Inside song and I asked you, I was like, hey, Chris, like, what kind of songs, you know, what do you think we should make? And you're like, well, I want to make something I like, but I don't know what that is. That's fine. Because then at least we can be like, all right, where do we go from there? Like, you could go around the room. What do you like? What do you like? You know, let's find something we like. I would love to go about making music that way, and I always try to like do that, but it's not always possible, right? So at the end of the day, you have to get a song out. So that's the loop that you get stuck in. But I think the best music comes about when you love what you're making, when you're really excited about it. And it can even start like, even in the studio, I feel like there's a lot of times where you can start a song even saying, well, I want to make a song like this other person. Like, you know, just let's use it as a reference. And you get, you know, halfway into the song and you hit on something that's just like, oh shit, that's it. And then you grow to love the song, right? You don't have to like have some immediate spark. Sometimes it's like a slow burn. You have to dig through a lot of things that you don't like, or that you're trying to copy, and then finally you like find your thing. You're like, ooh, like that's our sound, like that's our moment. Let's go. I love that. That's like my favorite moment in the studio.
So from a producer's standpoint, where for you and your personal preference, right? How did that evolve from the older sound to the more polished rock sound, or has it always been you tried to achieve that?
Well, I think like a big part of it is actually similar to the last thing I was saying about pop, which is like
I
worked on
that
pop.
This was going to be the answer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because I worked on pop for such a long time, so I already had those ears.
Yeah.
And I want to say that the biggest thing for me was vocal production, and I think that's where rock production
that got so overlooked by the bigger metal producers for so long.
I know.
Dude. Like I feel like
production.
Yeah, like metal records, like it would be nothing to like get a month in the studio, but the vocalist wouldn't get to track until like the last 3 days, and they have to do an entire record in 3 days. It's like, dude, the vocals, like I feel like that's been one of the biggest shifts in the genres. Like people started to really pay attention and actually put care into like what the vocalist is doing.
I mean, it's amazing how overlooked it was. Even how loud the vocals were mixed in the older times. But yeah, I think working in pop, when you're doing pop, it's literally the exact opposite of what you just said. It's like, cool, we're going to get in the room, we're going to make the beat in 5 minutes, and now we're going to spend 6 hours working on the vocals. It's like a 5% instrumental, 95% vocal. Oh, I'll produce it later. I just want a drum beat and a bass line, and we're going to write a catchy ass song with a great vocal and great lyrics. And like that, if you look at every song in all of history of music, like the vocal is pretty much usually the star of the song.
The majority of people who aren't musically inclined, you don't typically hear, unless it's like one of those all-time crazy catchy guitar parts, but like you don't typically hear people walking around humming guitars or
that's a huge
drums.
thing. I had a conversation with Garrett from Silent Planet about this when we were working on the last record, which was a huge breakthrough record for him and the band, and Garrett especially because he really broke out of his shell vocally on that record, and the whole band and myself, we all like helped him do that, and himself. But I remember telling him once, I was like, if someone was going to sing one of your band's songs back to you, what would they sing first? Would it be a drum part, bass part, guitar, vocals? You go, well, obviously it would be the vocals. And I said, okay, well then why are those the last things that we do on the song. Why is a vocal an afterthought?
Right.
After we've mowed through every production layer and every drum hit and every guitar part and everything's perfect, how come then we're like, oh, all right, let's go over some vocals? And he's like, oh, you're right. And so, what we started doing was incorporating vocals like very, very early on. Like as most writing sessions go now, you kind of get an idea going on like drums, bass, guitar, maybe you add some production. And then if someone has a vocal idea, that pass them the mic, hum your idea in, and then you kind of get the vocal incorporated at an earlier time that way. And that's the way pop writing is. Like every pop session is like when someone feels a vibe, like, let's mess around with vocals as soon as you have the idea. You don't wait for anything. You don't even wait 1 second. I'm really big on that because you only get your first idea once.
Yep.
Right. To me, when you have your first idea, there's an incredible amount of value in that idea. Incredible. It's like this little fucking kernel that you have to like, you got to respect it. And everyone in the room only gets it once. So when someone has an idea, whether it's me or whoever's sitting next to me, they go, oh shit, I hear a vocal thing. It's like, pass you the mic. Hum it in right now. They're like, I was like, now? I'm like, yeah, do it fucking now. Like, I don't want to forget it. Like, there's something there.
Yeah.
So yeah, vocals, period. That's it.
Every genre had realized that before our world. Like we went and did like a week in Nashville last year or something, and we were working with a guy named Andrew Bayless. He used to play in a band called Life on Repeat back in the day. I was a massive fan of, and but he's like, shifted into the country world because he lives in Nashville now, and he does a lot of country sessions. And he was telling us that, like, dude, he'll lay down scratch tracks of everything, track all of the final vocals, and then the artist will go away and he'll send off the files to be like, have everything like the final guitars, drums, bass tracked by session musicians, and the like main artist won't even be around for that. But
it's so interesting.
He scratch tracks for like the main chord progressions, track the vocals, the artist leaves, and then like a couple days later gets the final song, but like they only really, in his main like writing sessions, they only really focus on the vocals. They do just enough of everything else to like lay a foundation, and then they only focus on vocals. And it's like no wonder that like whether people love country music or not, like it's no wonder that that's like one of the highest grossing genres in the world, because they like the vocal is what sells, and they put so much effort into that.
They do. And even I'd also want to say, to add to that, every band works different. Every artist works different, right?
Sure.
So there's some artists that they just can't hear it until the song is done, right? They just can't get inspired. They don't have the idea yet, right? Like Courtney is very much like that from Spiritbox. And she, me and Mike will be writing stuff and be coming up with stuff, and I'll be like, do you want to put a vocal on this? And she'll be like, I could, but like, I don't have I'm not inspired. I don't have the vision yet. I need to hear like more of what the atmosphere is. I want to live in it for a while. I want to go run around the block with my AirPods in for an hour and listen to it. And, it's like, and then she'll hibernate and come out with a huge notebook of lyrics, and then we'll work from there. So like, and Garrett, like I was talking about Garrett, he likes to do that too. But like I said, more recently, we've been incorporating top line earlier, but some artists don't like to just jump right into vocals. And I respect that 1,000%. You gotta work at the pace of the artist, period.
Sure.
Or it's gonna be no good, right? Everyone, like we're saying, everyone needs to be stoked on the process.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess at what point, if you're focusing on the pop stuff for so long and you kind of stepped away from the rock and metal world, what brought you back into working in this genre again?
Yeah. I mean, man, well, yeah, I'd kind of work on rock stuff every now and again when I was still doing pop stuff. And funny enough, one thing that pulled me out for a bit, it was in 2014. Maybe it was earlier. It might have been 2012. I'd have to ask Mike. Mike Stringer's project, Fallen Archaea. Amazing band. They were sick.
I feel like I might have told you this before, but
yeah.
Texas in July was on an August Runs Red support tour, Canadian run, and the last day of the tour was in Vancouver, and Mike's band, Fallen Archaea, opened, and I stood on the side of the stage, literally with my jaw on the floor. Like, how the fuck is there like this unsigned band in Vancouver, Canada that is this fucking sick? And I actually went to their merch table and bought an EP and a t-shirt, and I like fucking sick. That day fanboyed out on Mike about how incredible I thought he was. And then fast forward like 3 years later, and I showed up to a European tour where Texas was co-headlining with I Wrestled a Bear once, and I stepped onto the bus and he was just sitting there. I was like, what are you doing here?
You did tell me that the other day.
He's like, I'm in this band now. I was like, what the fuck, dude? This is what a small world. But dude, I literally since the first time I saw him play in like 2011, I was like, this dude is on a different planet.
Yeah. So I did his record in like whatever year that was, and I got to meet Courtney too, because they were together at the time, I believe. And fast forward to like 2016, 2017, they hit me up and they're like, hey, would you mix our project? We started a new project called Spiritbox. Like, would you be down to mix it? And I was like, me? I was like, man, I haven't mixed metal in a while, but I'll give it a shot. And they're like, yeah, do it. Like, we know you, like, it'll be cool. And I was like, okay. Right. And I did it, kind of got my chops back, and then they did another project and I mixed it, and I was like slowly edging back into like, okay, I can do some heavy stuff. I was picking up mixes here and there and smaller productions while still grinding on the pop stuff more and more. And then I was doing some stuff with Silent Planet again, and Garrett introduced me to Rory from Dayseeker. I had met him years and years before that, but Garrett said, hey, you should do his next album. And I was like, shit, okay. I guess, and it was like, we met up and it clicked, and we worked together, and it kind of, this all happened in tandem. Was like, I'm probably getting the timeline slightly wrong, but it was all in the same general area. It was like, I started working with Rory and doing the Dayseeker stuff. And then, Mike and Courtney had asked me, hey, would you be down to like, produce us and like, co-write, songs and stuff like that. And I was like, fucking absolutely. And I'd go out to Canada, to Victoria, Canada, and work with them out there. And it was kind of like, all these things were sort of like getting me really excited about getting back into this genre again. Because I was like, okay, now I can take all the things I learned in pop and apply it to this lame ass genre that is so uncreative right now.
Right. Yeah.
Especially like vocally, production and vocal production wise. It was just like, I know I can bring some value in here. Yeah. And just try to get rid of that jaded mindset that was so locked in the genre, where it's like, you have to do things a certain way, and it has to be, whatever, just try to get people to like open their minds a little bit more. Hey, what if this was simpler? What if this was just a nice basic part, but we spent the time we normally spend on the guitar riff on the vocal part. Right. And then, stuff like that. I'm very fortunate that those projects ended up working out and have like helped me to grow my own brand and work with more and more people and stuff like that. And it all kind of just came at the right time, I feel. What pushed you out of rock to get to start? Like what pushed you to go to pop? Well, there's just no money in it. Oh, well, really? Fair. I mean, yeah. I always did it, but it felt like, to me at the time in 2000, I built my studio in 2012. I decided to live at my mom's house and build a inexpensive recording studio off somewhere else, instead of like moving out and not having a recording studio. So like that's what I used, the whatever money I had for. And I was like, all right, well, I have to sustain this business. Rock bands have no money. I don't really have much of a name in the rock world, maybe a little bit because of volumes, but not enough to be getting the big records. Right. Because at that time, the big records were taken up by the guys that did big records, David Bendeth, probably Will Putney even then. Yeah. Even guys like Eric Ron, guys like, I mean, these guys weren't even that much older than me, but they were like, they had done it. And they were Sturgis, it was just all, there was like an untouchable sort of like realm of these guys that got the records and then everyone else didn't. It wasn't like now. So I was like, all right, cool. I have to like do pop. What does it feel like to be considered one of those guys now? It's sick. I think it's great. I don't know. I don't know what I'm considered.
Right.
I
Obviously, you wake
genuinely
up
don't
every
know.
day, brush your teeth, and look in the mirror, and you're the same guy. But from you would be considered to be on the same shelf as those guys now. And what is that? When you think back of like all the hard work and all the shitty times but that perseverance, now look at you, you're on the same shelf as all these guys. Like what does that feel like, or do you ever even think about it?
I mean, it's cool. Like I'm not really, look, I have so much, like, more even than just being like stoked that I might be considered on a similar shelf. I'm very stoked that there's a good community,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
because all these guys are my friends, like,
Yeah,
all of them.
yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
these guys, Drew Folk, Zach Cervini, fucking Colin Britton,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, Zach Tush, who's next door to me in the studio right here. Like, everyone. I mean, a lot of these guys I consider on a plane pretty far above me, but we're at least all grouped into the same thing, and everyone's super, super nice, generous. Nobody is like territorial over their
Mm-hmm.
bands. If anything, I have dudes, them hitting me up going, "Hey, I don't have time for this band. Do you want to work on them?"
Right,
Or
right.
if I'm working on what band that they did their last record, like I just did Fit for a King's last record, which Drew had them for two. And Drew came by and just hung out with us. And there was no like, "Hey man, you took my band." It's
Right.
that there's none of that energy. So if anything, I just think it's really cool that there is like a platform of people that are operating at a high level in the
Mm-hmm.
genre. And like, I'm just happy to be considered like one of their peers. I
Yeah.
think it's great fun. I think it's a great crew. And I think like we got a lot more damage to do. Like, I think it's just the start. To me, I'm a pretty like forward looking person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always just wondering what's next, truly. And look, my thing is, I just want to see the artists that have worked so fucking hard to make music their career. I want to see them get to that next level too. And I want everyone to do it together. Like, to me, that's the most rewarding thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all get to do it together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's just, dude, like I said, I'm super, super grateful of, that everyone took a chance with me, with their stuff, and trusts me and lets
Mm-hmm.
me get in on the action. Like, that's so cool, because I get to be in like a bunch of bands at once in a certain sense. It's
for sure.
it's really fun. And I'm just grateful, man. I'm having a good time,
I was asking because I was curious. So when I tour managed, I had built up what was, considered a quote unquote reputation, and I felt like I could go get a TM job tomorrow. I just didn't want to do that anymore. So when I made the switch to management, it was really, really difficult at first, trying to find my footing and find, like what you said, those bands that would trust you and allow you to get in on the action and show that, I'm capable. And I was reaching out to my friends that I had met over the years of touring, whether it be other managers or booking agents or labels or whatever. And I almost, like, I couldn't get anybody to take me serious. Like, it was like, as a TM, you're this, but I never had that management title. So it took me a really long time to be able to find my footing and get these couple bands that I've got that, I was actually able to show that, no, I am capable. I just needed the tools to show you what I could essentially do. And, and now I get to be a part of that group because, and work with my peers again, and have my peers who have been friends for years and years and years as a tour manager. Now I get to do that every day as a manager, and it's been really, really cool. Like you, I feel like there's so much left to do and so much to prove, but I was just curious how it felt for you, like, because I feel like we're in similar place, and to be able to be on that quote unquote shelf with my peers again is a rewarding feeling in a sense.
Dude, just like earning the trust of
exactly
of people is such a cool thing. It's such a rewarding thing to, because I always said, like, people have asked me, how do you get an artist to listen to your idea or take your idea seriously? And I always said, like, well, I can't until they see that something I suggested does well.
Right.
There's no other way other way to sell an idea. You can rationalize it all you want in the studio, but it's it's a really difficult thing to build trust with an artist or with yes. And that's why I really like working with bands, like from a point of, hey, we want help, or we want to try to get to the next level, rather than we're already famous and we want to just keep this going.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, mostly it's easy for me to say because no, super famous bands are asking me to produce them.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, I find it more fun to ride the wave up with an artist than to like meet them at the top. It just feels way cooler to me.
I also really feel like I don't know that I'm good there. Like, I'm good at being a part of the rise. I don't know that I'm good at meeting you at the top. I probably could. I just haven't really done it a ton yet. So I don't know. I like you, I enjoy there's a weird sense of, like, I don't even know what the word is, but like being a part of, like, their success becomes yours in a sense.
Yeah, you like get to share in the pride of the journey.
It's awesome. It's rewarding as shit. Like, one thing, we get to go here for the first time. Like, we get to do this. I don't know. It's fucking rewarding.
I'm curious what you feel like after, like, what do you feel like was your first, like, big record, like your big, like, that actually put your name back on the map for being in this world? Would it be Eternal Blue?
Probably. I mean, it was like singles before that, I suppose. Like, it was like the probably Holy Roller, that single that came out during the pandemic.
Right. Yeah, and that's when they really started to explode as a band, for sure.
Yeah, that's when they started to explode, and then I got more attention because of that too, and got approached by like the Nail the Mix people and stuff, and that was a huge boost. It was awesome. I just remember, ever since then, it was like things were like different from that point on in a very good way.
Did it make you feel any sort of pressure to, like, kind of follow up the momentum of that? Like, was Eternal Blue done when you guys, when they dropped that single, or did you guys have to go in and, like, finish a record after that song being a fucking massive, like, blow up success thing? Yes.
So the way that record was written was that I came up to Victoria, Canada, 2 times. We did we made a little makeshift like studio in their house, so we were in their apartment, and we all just like wrote a bunch of songs. Some of them weren't finished; they were just like demos essentially. And then we were gonna plan on keep doing it. Pandemic happened, so then we had just remotely were like passing stuff back. Me and Mike were always passing riffs and ideas and stuff like that, and sending each other stuff. And before the pandemic, they put Blessed Be.
Blessed Be.
Yeah. That's right. There were 2 songs that came out before the pandemic. Right. So those did well, but those were cool. We put them out, and then Holy Roller we finished during the pandemic. We had it in demo version, and they were like, we want to just throw this out because everyone's bored and there's no music coming out, and we want to just put out a fun little heavy song. And we finalized the production over Zoom, and then I'll never forget the day when Courtney recorded vocals to that. They just did it in their home studio, and she just had a SM7B, and I was like, cool, I'm on FaceTime, and we're going to record this. And she's like, okay, are you ready? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, let me show you what I have. We ran the song from 1 to the end, and it was done. That was the whole recording. We never heard it before. She just was like, did it 1 take. I think we punched in 1 line, and then it was done. And I was like, that's so fucking raw and so sick. That was it. You know what I mean? It was like it's like a 15-minute recording session. You know what I mean? It was just done. And it was so perfect. And the vibe was just so cool and raw. And it just had a thing to it. And we're all just like, all right, that's a thing. Let's get this shit put out. Let's put it out. And it did well. And that was just like, that was a really good moment for all of us. And then, alongside with that was like the Dayseeker stuff too. That started to blow up, and that band really took a turn for the better as far as the reaction by fans and so I'm just like, I would say them, and the 2 of them are like my main, I don't know what you want to call it. They were like the proverbial like fucking nets that fished me out of the pond
Yeah.
and threw me onto land, and then now I'm back doing this thing,
Do you ever feel like any sort of pressure to continue to top yourself?
I don't know. Honestly, I try not to think about it.
Sure.
I truly try not to think about it. I just try to look at the North Star of going, I want to make music that when I'm driving home from the studio, I want to blast it.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah,
I want to be stoked when I'm on my way home. And if I can keep doing that, and I trust that what I like is good, then I'm good. I just want to like it. And we'll see. Some things maybe won't do well. Some things will. You can't know, right? I mean,
there's no way to know. Yeah.
Not in this world.
Because you sit here like, what's a hit? This song's a hit in the studio, and then it doesn't do well, and you're like, okay,
yeah. It's one of my favorite questions to ask guys who were involved in records that were like massively influential, not just to me, but like as the genre as a whole. Like we had Brian from Shadows Fall on as one of our first episodes. Shadows Fall was a massive band in our world back in the day, right? And one of the biggest in the genre, and they were one of the first bands from our world to get a Grammy nomination, like shit like that, or like
I didn't know that. Sick.
Yep. And I on my Twitch stream back in the day, I had Rob from Chimera on. I was a massive fan of them. They were also a massive influence on the genre as a whole. And I was like, when you're making these records, and the example I like to bring up all the time is like, well, Metallica's making the Black Album. Does Metallica realize they're making the Black Album, or are they just making songs that they're stoked on? Like, do they know that they're going to have the biggest, highest selling metal album of all time, or are they just writing songs that they're stoked on? There's no way to know. I swear, there's got to be no way to know. Because I don't think there's any way you can be sitting there going, "This is going to sell 16 million copies." You know what I mean? There's not a chance.
But the question is how do you write these records that are this fucking good and not know?
Because I don't know, because you never know.
But
it's like it's good to you. You don't know if it's going to translate to everyone else.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But some of these records that we're talking about that we grew up with came out like fucking perfect works of art.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Hybrid Theory.
I'm saying it's
the Battle of Los Angeles. I mean, look at these records. Like, because I listened to those albums, and Chris, exactly your expression. I'm like, they must have known.
Right. They had
to. There's no way they didn't know.
You want to believe that, but I just every time I'm making a record, I'm like, I'm stoked on this, but and I think this is great, but like, is it good, or am I just crazy? And then it makes me wonder what these guys who are doing these timeless, massive records are thinking when they're making them.
Right. It's the same thing. Like, you could ask the same question with like fucking the Queen record, Night at the Opera, right? Like, that record is insane. Did they know then?
Right.
Or even like with Fleetwood Mac and all, like, did they know then?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Up,
yeah, I don't know.
It's such a mind fuck, man.
I got another mind fuck for you. I'm going to give you one right now.
Let's get it.
Are we gonna ever? Does this generation have the capability of producing those type of records?
Like a timeless, massive record that like
piece? Because now it's everything's surrounded by singles, and the turnover rate is so. It's happening so quickly. Do the kids of this generation have those Hybrid Theories and those fucking Battle of Los Angeles and those what's the Freak on a Leash record called? Follow the Leader. Like, do they have those records?
Right. I mean, I feel like to ask that question, we have to quantify like what is a timeless record?
Yeah,
like what quantifies that?
Right.
So like we can look at the raw data. Like, is it the amount of number of units it sells? Is it the amount of time it stays relevant? I think it's a combination of a few things, right? It's like I feel like the main thing is how long does it stay relevant for, right? Like, how long is it going to be consideed? Like, how long are people going to actively listen? I think that's the number one, right?
I think so too.
To say a classic record, because that I don't know, man. Like, I think that there have been a lot of moments in our scene and in pop that have been pivotal for youth culture for sure in the last 20 years. I mean, even just in the last 5 with Chapel Roan and Sabrina Carpenter, like they've made quite a big splash, and that was super refreshing and awesome to see in the pop world. Like, that was like revitalizing as far as pop goes, like, because pop was getting very stale. And hip hop right now is very stale. I'm curious to see what the next thing is going to be in hip hop. But you know, to quantify that, we don't know. I feel like we probably won't know for like 20 years.
You're right. You're right.
But what I always talk about is like, I feel like there's always going to be a slot available for like, what is that? Who's that it person? Who's that it thing? What's like, culture is always going to want someone to pay attention to as like an icon or as someone that everybody's obsessed with. So like, who's filling that slot right now?
Totally.
And then I think like to make it iconic is like, who's going to fill that slot for like a very long time?
Right.
And be like a permanent figure. Like, who's going to be that Michael Jackson? I don't know.
But yeah. I can't remember who we were talking to, but there's another angle of it too. Is like, you know, while the turnover rate is so rapid and but without the internet, Taylor Swift would not be the figure that she is, because
or at least it would have taken her longer to get to the point that she's at. For
it would have been a different road for sure. Absolutely.
Right. You know, like it's pretty incredible. Who was I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and we were having the conversation of, you know how it would be 10 years before a band would be doing big stuff. Now you might be able to cut that in half with the ability to reach the amount of people that you're able to reach, right? You got bands going viral and blowing up online before they've even played a fucking show.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Back in our day,
for sure,
you got to tour for 3 years before you got fucking, you know, you're playing to a full room.
Yeah. That was tough. I feel like our genre, especially in the earlier days, really truly got the shit covered end of the stick in literally every way. If we want to quantify it, it's the most effort, it's the least money, it's the most people performing at the same time. Right? The most equipment, the heaviest equipment, the most staircases that you have to take that equipment up and down.
Yes.
Right.
Really. I mean, like, it's every fucking angle of it. The most dudes, like, it's all dudes, they're gross dudes, just like no other genre is like that. And pop, like, hip hop is like, fuck, man, you could get so much more face. Also, the lower ceiling too for rock is like, cool, then you can get super famous, but like, what is super famous? What's the most famous you could get as a heavy metal band, a metalcore band? Like, I don't know, but I feel like, pop and rap and country and all of that, like, has always had like a much bigger ceiling with a lower amount of effort to make, higher paychecks, which is why I got into it. Truly.
Sure.
I was like, I want to make money. Like, it was, and that was the first thing I noticed is when I started making pop music was, this is like so much easier than rock. Like, how in the hell, like, you're telling me I only have to use like 6 tracks in a song to like, and then a vocal track, like a few vocal tracks, like, cool. Like, but that's getting tangential, but, the original thing we were talking about was what was the point of all this again? We had a good point originally. Oh, it was the iconic. It was the iconic artists.
Yeah.
I'm like, Trump, I'm doing the weave. But you got to weave it back.
Get to it. No, I'm just kidding.
But seriously though, like, all that being said about all this, like, I think, and you guys could challenge me on this, but I think we might be in the best time ever for music right now.
In what sense?
That's a great question. In what sense?
That's a good question. You want me to quantify it?
Yes.
I want you to quantify
my favorite word in this conversation.
You've been using it a bunch, so let's quantify it.
I have been using it because we're asking questions. I'm like, I think that it's the easiest it's ever been to reach the maximum amount of people possible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Right?
Absolutely.
Number 1. Okay. Number 2, I think that people are the most open they've ever been to different styles and genres and flavors of music.
I think that I would agree with that also.
Ever.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
3, there's the most international crossover there's ever been.
Oh, for sure.
As far as if you look at how many Latin American artists are crossing over and blowing up in the United States, even like Peso Pluma, this is norteño music. This is traditional norteño music. It's blowing up in the United States. If you look at K-pop, blowing up in the United States, Blackpink, J-pop, K-pop, all these bands, like there's more international crossover. That's it than has ever happened, right? And then I guess finally you could say like it's the easiest time, like you said, to like have a viral moment to go from nothing to something, right?
Sure.
And I think ticket sales are at an all-time high too, aren't they?
In some places,
like people are going to a lot of shows.
For the big artists, for sure.
For the big artists, yes.
I think for the mid-size and below, I think it's a struggle right now. But I think it's more of a reflection of like just the economy side of things rather than music itself. Because I do think you might be right. At least as like. At very least, as a consumer, it's for sure the best time of music. There's more of it to go around. It's easier to find new stuff.
Yeah, definitely as a consumer. Yeah, for sure. If we're just saying for music in general, right?
I could agree with some of what you're saying about artists. I do think that it is easier than ever to have a viral moment and break through and reach all these people, but also there's so many more people than ever trying to do that you have to find a way to break through that noise and get people to pay attention.
And right. And then not only pay attention, but then hold the attention.
Right. So I do think that
is hard.
It's true.
Yeah.
I do think that we have more tools that are there that can do more good than ever. I just think achieving the goal is still kind of tough. And in some ways,
of course.
In some ways, maybe harder than ever, just because there is so much going on. Like, there's, I forget what I just saw the other day, but there's like, I don't know, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of songs going up on like Spotify.
I think it was like 60,000 or something a day.
Yeah,
the number's
and it's like
crazy.
And like, how are you supposed to like break through that noise and get people to pay attention? Like it's tough.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
there are more tools and more outlets to do that than ever. So I do think that, yes, in a lot of ways it is. And I do think that specifically for our genre, like it definitely is bigger than it's been in a very long time. So I mean, I don't have anything to like necessarily negate the concept of it being like the best time of music ever.
Yeah. And I only say that because I know it's like, it's easy to go down the rabbit hole of like, everything used to be better. Used to be, and I always want to challenge that because, I just think that we're very lucky to have everything we have right now, as far as like
100%.
the ways we're able to get content and like but truly, I think the most important thing is like one of the things I brought up is like the openness of the listener, the openness of like, audience. It's like pretty amazing. Like I want to say I've never seen, like, you would never see a band like Sleep Token be doing what they're doing now in 20 years ago. When rock was on the radio, they'd be way too experimental.
Yes.
Way, way, way too experimental. Because like they're like heavier. Like, right, we had Tool back then. I would say maybe that would be the closest equivalent. Right. But even then, that was like very soft. You know what I mean?
But they were also like they were also the outlier band, right? Like they didn't really fit the mold. They kind of just like snuck in under the radar somehow, and nobody said, "Wait a minute, you guys aren't supposed to be here." You know what I mean? Like great band, but like by the cookie cutter of like what was acceptable on the radio and stuff for the genre back then, they definitely didn't fit that mold, and they were the only band that broke through that barrier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and dude, we have satellite radio now, like. Dude, thank God Sirius XM has gained more popularity.
Yes.
Like, I think we have that to thank, like, so much.
Absolutely.
Totally.
There's no like outlet that plays as much rock as satellite radio. Like, that's it.
And they've become like the taste makers for the genre too, you know?
I'm gonna go on and tell y'all right now. I don't know if you guys have XM and you listen to Turbo. But that
Love
motherfucker. Turbo. Oh man, does it play some hits.
Dude, so good. Turbo. No, I have Turbo on a lot because like that's the 2000s shit for sure.
Oh, it's the fucking best, man.
I'm like a super like egotistical person, so I'm going always between liquid metal and
liquid
octane.
metal.
I'm like,
yeah, me too.
I hope they play something of mine.
Yeah.
I just like switch it back and forth. I'm like, come on,
dude,
baby, let's see it.
I'm on the same.
If I were you, I'd be doing the
boat.
same fucking thing. Shit, when Washed Away was in rotation on Octane, you better believe I was trying to catch it every time they played it. Yeah, of course, dude.
That song's amazing. Where the hell did that song go, man? What the fuck?
I don't know. It was on there for a long time. It even charted on there for a minute too. I'll take it. You know, we're a band that, by definition, when you look at the rest of the catalog, we shouldn't even be in the conversation for Octane. But
That's true.
They put us on there, so I'll take whatever we got. You know what I mean?
Right over there.
No, it's great. That album's doing well. Actually, it's kind of like sneakily doing well. Like I was telling you guys, like it's on rock radio.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
Sure. Yeah, it's really great.
It's nuts. You know, obviously, like I said when we were making that record, I was fucking stoked on it. I just, you know, I go through those things where I'm like, do I just like it, or are other people gonna like it too? And I'm glad that it's paid off in the way that it has.
The way that you went into that last section, it was almost as if you were reading our questions, because it was a actual perfect segue into this next question of how was it working with Megan Thee Stallion on the Spiritbox collab, because that's like two worlds colliding.
You got it. I know that this is a crazy story. You got to give us the rundown of how this happened.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was two of them. There were 2 times.
Right.
So we've done two features with her.
The first one was like a psycho turnaround time, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, they both kind of were psycho turnaround times,
but where do they know each other? Are they friends? Like, did this come from that, or was it literally like?
I want to say it was because they were on their manager Jason was on the Rock Nation roster, and I think there was some crossover with Rock Nation where she was interested in like collaborating with like heavier artists, and so they got in the conversation. I think that Megan really liked the stuff, and it was so super cool that she was like open for that, and then she asked us to do a song, and I mean, it was just fucking wild how it came about. We literally, like, Mike, he went and made some riffs, made some parts, and then like brought them to the studio, and then we like added production. Courtney did her vocals, and I remember it was we did it all in like one day, if I remember correctly. It was like one night. We had to turn it in like 2 days. They're like, oh, they want this thing. They want it in like 3 days. They're like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. And then we didn't know if it got approved. And I remember I was like, I didn't have a birthday party that year because I was like sick. So my mom, like, I went over to my mom's house for like dinner, and I had like a couple family members over, and like we had like a little mini birthday thing, like had some cake and stuff. And like I remember like right after like we had dinner, like Mike called me and he was like, dude, we have to come back to the studio and mix it right now. They want it tomorrow. And I was like, holy fuck. I was like, I was like, all right, well, come to my mom's, have some birthday cake, and then we'll go to my house and just do it there. And then we literally like went to my house and fucking mixed it really quick on my home rig in like an hour and sent it off. And then it was fucking done. It was just this whirlwind of 2 days. And I remember I texted Mike the next day and I was like, do you have a headache? He's like, I have a horrible migraine. And I was like, yeah, me too. just from the stress of being like, we have to get this thing out. But I just remember it was so cool to just like have that opportunity. And then the second time, oh shit, you guys got me?
Yep,
okay.
You're good.
The second time was like definitely a little less hectic. We had a good week of, hey, we want to do this. And so we had a little bit of time to do it. And that one was already off of like an existing beat they had, so we didn't have to like come up with shit from dead scratch.
Oh, cool.
So that was like a light version of the first one.
Yeah.
But those still very cool things. And then they culminated with like, you know, Meg asking Courtney to go on stage at Coachella, which I got to see. And, it was super cool.
Oh, you were there for that?
Yeah, I poked in for it. Yeah.
So sick, dude.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah.
That's fucking cool. That's very
good
very
metal
cool.
moment, metal crossover moment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we've been chatting for a minute. So I want to slowly start to wind down here, but I definitely there's a couple more things I want to touch on before we get out of here. And the first one is something that I'm sure Josh can relate to this too. But anybody who has done audio work or studio work knows how entirely soul consuming and life consuming it can be. Like how the hell do you go about balancing your work life stuff, you know, because you're married, you know, like how the hell do you balance, because studio days can be long.
You have kids too, or no?
No kids, no kids.
Okay.
But he is married. He's got a wife that you know he does stuff with, and it's like we
no,
know.
I have a life. Believe it or
and
not.
it's like studio sessions don't always go on that time frame that you set for yourself, and it's like, you know, how the hell do you balance that? And like, are you able to turn off your studio brain when you leave and go home for the night, or are you like me? Like, I can't turn it off once I start. You know.
Yeah, I can't turn it off. Well, it's really dangerous having a studio at my house too.
Right. I mean, my wife. I'm in my garage right now. My house is right there. When I step away from this and walk in there to have dinner with my family when we're done, I'm still going to be thinking about this. You know, like
dude, 100%. Well, the first thing I'll say is like I have to run my life like on like a military like moment to moment thing. Like I'm pretty proactive with like health.
Sure.
I try to eat very, very healthy. I try to work out.
Except for when you're with the ghost inside.
Yeah. What did we eat last time? Do we have some fun stuff?
I mean, the last day we were there, we all ordered Panda Express together. So.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That
was like the old dude. I have not had Panda Express. I probably told you guys. Like I was like, this is the first time I've had this in like 5 years.
We're bad influences when it comes to the food game.
Yeah. I definitely try to be on my health shit. I work out with a trainer. I work out with a trainer 4 days a week, and I do my own cardio. I go to therapy with my therapist, Dr. Harry Stark. He makes me say his name in my interviews because for whatever reason. I'm just kidding.
Discount, right?
I wish that was true.
No, I make that joke. I just said it. I said it in another article the other day. He's like, hey, you know, if you ever mention me, say my full name. I was like, all right, I got you. But I see him. You know, I just kind of have like, you know, I make a fucking smoothie in the morning. I just have like these little routines I do that kind of make life easier for me and stuff like that. So I try to make my sessions like start and end at a specific time. And so that way I can carve out time to like be home and like make dinner and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think like being creative is great, but if you can make time to be creative and set like a boundary on it, then you can like really be creative with that time. It's almost better to set that limit. And I'm saying this as someone that tries to do that, right?
Sure.
I'm not saying I succeed in setting the boundary, but I do set the boundary, and I really try to like honor it. But yeah, going home and then also having a computer there and a studio there. I mean, sometimes I'll, you know, break my rule and go work at home, and especially if I'm super busy then I have to, then yeah, I mean it's crazy. But yeah, I think for me the biggest thing is to have like space between projects. Like say I have I'm in with a band for 6 weeks or 5 weeks. I can't just go straight into another band. I need a couple weeks between to like unpack my brain, finalize whatever we've done, like because it gets exhausting, you know.
Yeah.
Curious about that because how do producers do like one record from 12 to 6 and then another record from 7 to midnight every day and be on 2 different records? Like I don't know how you wouldn't burn out.
The only time I would do that is if I'm mixing a record while I'm producing another record, which unfortunately is almost all the time.
To be fair,
but like I said,
when we did the TGI record with Putney, he was doing the same thing. We'd be in there with him from like 10 to midnight, and he'd be back the next morning at like 7 a.m. mixing another band's record and then starting with us again.
I'm talking about producing 2 different bands at the same time.
I want to know who the hell you know that's doing that, because they need to stop.
Man, I don't know. I got to ask Cervini. Maybe him. Dude, Zach, he is someone who I don't understand how he does it. Much respect. Yep. That dude he is the schedule master. He's the schedule master. He works so hard, and somehow everything comes out amazing. So I don't know how the fuck he does it. I'm not as good at working on that many things at once. So I can only produce one thing at once.
I feel like I would have a hard time compartmentalizing the 2 different projects too. I'd feel like I'd be like thinking about one of the other band's song while working on the my brain can't handle that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Well, it's rough to have to like force yourself to be creative is rough, because I think like there's like creating like songwriting, producing brain, and then there's mixing brain. And I think those things can coexist at the same time, you know? Like cool, like I'm working on this song, it's stuck in my head. Now I'm going to go and work on another band, but it's just like more technical, mixing. I feel like it's using a different part of your brain. But
you ever get in with a band and not feel motivated, but still have to finish the record?
I mean, there's days that are, lower energy than other days for sure. I mean, I'm a human, like.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm
curious
about. Be a
robot, though, Dan. Be a robot.
That's what I'm curious, like, how do you... how do you navigate that? Like, do you, what's the recipe?
Honestly, I just do it. I don't know. It's so automatic to me at this point.
Yeah.
It's like to me, like working on music is like as natural as breathing air for me. I don't really think about it. It's at a certain point, it's like autonomic. And then it's like, if I'm having a good day, I can like enhance my, output. If I'm having a bad day, it'll go down a little bit, but I can usually make something happen. And look, at the end of the day, I'm not like the only person in the room. Like,
sure.
Let's not get it twisted. This is like a super important thing too. As a producer, you are truly only as good as the artist you're working with.
Right. Sure.
There's
right.
You cannot take someone bad and make them good. It's just not going to happen.
Absolutely.
It could sound like someone good, but it's not going to actually be good.
Right.
Right. And there's a big difference between those two things.
Totally.
Like truly, like I'm like the chef that has to put the ingredients together, but if the ingredients are like rotten, then the dish is going to be no good. Like,
right. Sure.
And it's about like, just trying to get everyone to be the best version of themselves as well. So if I'm not feeling it, I can always like lean on someone else in the room too. Like, hey,
sure.
do you have an idea? Do you want to like come up with something? Because it's not just me. And I think that that's something really important to remember is like, as the producer becomes more and more of like a prominent role in rock music, which it certainly is.
Yep.
It's definitely watering down the sound of each band a little bit to kind of sound like all the same band. And I think a lot of that comes from like, there's not enough mistakes being made in the writing process or in the studio or in the sound design process, because I think your mistakes are where your style is, right? So like take a perfect song, right? You can make a perfect song, whatever I think a great song is, like that's not going to have any style because that's my impression of what this band's perfect song is.
Right.
Where it's gonna sound like the band when
I see.
You know what I mean? It's gonna sound like the band where someone plays their guitar riff a certain way and it's like, oh well, that's weird. Oh, that's wrong. Why would you play it like that? But then it's like you let that shit ride and compile, and it makes it stylistic. It's style.
Right. I see.
So I think even having the wrong input from the band or artist is good. Just having him, because as a producer, you want to like be like, oh, I know the right way to do everything.
Right.
But like I said, if I did everything exactly the way I wanted it, I don't think it would come out any good.
Right.
There's no pushback. There's no feedback.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong in it.
If the answer to this is yes, you don't have to name who it is, but have you ever had to like remove yourself from a project because it was just like not working, or you just like you had to get away from the situation of the artist or the project or the artist's team or whatever? Have you ever had to just be like, you guys are better off going somewhere else?
Yeah, I've for sure done that.
Is that a hard decision? Or was it pretty, the writing was on the wall there?
Luckily I have really great relationships with everybody that I've worked with, for the most part. There's a few like exceptions and whatnot, but anytime I've had to like step away from a project, I always try to make sure it's like, it's understood that it's like without like resentment or like anything negative. It's more just like, this isn't for me. And it's like, if I'm not excited about this, then it's not going to benefit you.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I've had to do that for sure. Chris, can we talk a little bit after this?
Sure.
Podcast?
Totally. Okay. Yeah. Totally unrelated, right?
And I'll have to do it again a little later today, but,
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, you good after this?
Yeah, absolutely. That's fair. I deserve that. I have one more question. I don't know if Josh is going to have any more. But so you've worked with a lot of like really incredible bands that end up being repeat clients. Like we've talked about Spiritbox, obviously. We've talked about Silent Planet. We've talked about Dayseeker. Now us.
your best friend, Era.
Oh, Era. Yes. You've done a couple things with Era now.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about, your process that has created this like return clientele for you? And when you get a band back, what is your approach for like making sure that you're not just rehashing the same approach to a record to make sure that you're keeping things fresh? You know what I mean?
Damn.
So it'd be very easy to just like do the same thing again, but like, what do you think it is about what you do that brings bands back? But once you get them back, what do you do to make sure that you are still making things exciting and fresh?
That's such a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I think I get along with bands super well. Like I come from the same world. I come from the same community and we have the same kind of sense of humor, and
right.
I'm used to being around artists. I'm used to being around people that are in bands and people that are, we're all wacky, we're all crazy, we're all out of control. Like at the end of the day, like those are my people.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think we just have like an understanding for each other. I think I would hope that the artists I work with feel like I let them be who they are and just try to enhance that rather than like trying to fit them into something they're not. And I think that's important. And then like I said, like when something's successful, then that makes them want to come back. So I earn their trust in that way as well. I just try to create an environment that's like it's low pressure. Like you've been here, Chris. Like
yep.
It's just I just want us to feel like we're all just chilling out in a room and writing something because we want to write something, not because we're like being forced to.
Totally.
I always say we all went in this business because we just want to hang out. So let's hang out and do some cool shit. Obviously, there's a time and place, but like ultimately we just want to fucking hang out.
Dude, everybody likes a good fart joke.
Exactly.
True.
Like
we had this conversation a couple weeks ago. I don't remember who it was with, but if you're too old to laugh at farts, you suck.
Dude, I fart all the time in the studio, like all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'll even sometimes pull a move where like I'll be playing the music really loud and then there's a mute button on the thing and like I'll wait to fart until I mute it and I'll mute it and then unmute it and then the song keep playing. Like I love that shit. I fucking love it. Even if nobody laughs, if not one person in the room laughs, even better. It's even better. It's for me. Like,
right.
It's for me. I'm like breaking the ice with myself,
Sure.
And then the second question is like to make something fresh each time. Dude, it's so hard. Like that is the hardest thing. And I mean, to me, luckily for me, a lot of that comes from the artist.
Sure.
I don't have to come up with that a lot of the time because pretty much most of the artists I work with come in and they're like, well, I've been inspired by this. I want to try something new. And it's something like this. And it's like, we're not sitting twiddling our thumbs. I just do what I automatically do, which is just try to like latch on to the best parts of the idea and enhance it.
Sure.
And it's not usually me that has to come up with what the new thing is. Now, I mean, sometimes, within the song, sometimes I'm like, I'll try to offer up like some really out there shit just to see what happens. Sometimes it's like cool to just, even if it ends up getting deleted, oh, what if this completely like random thing happened and everyone in the room's like, oh, like, no, let's not do that. I'm like, well, let's listen to it and see. 1 out of 10 times it kind of puts you on a new path. That was what happened with Silent Planet with the song Antimatter. Is that was sort of what the process was, is like I had to go through trying like 10 different things with them that we kept going down different paths and different paths and different paths. And like, eventually we landed on something and then everyone was like, oh man, I don't know. This doesn't sound like our band, I don't know. And then we took it home and came back the next day and we're like, yeah, this is it. But it was totally out there.
Right.
And we stumbled upon their sound that way, of the new sound. So yeah, I'd say it's either like it comes from the artist or it's just a complete accident that comes from just throwing stuff at the wall. And you just have to sometimes, throw the chips and just see where they land and just follow the fucking natural flow of the session. See,
How do you break the ice with a new band that you've never worked with before to get them to, because right, I don't write music, so I don't know, but I assume like it's a vulnerable state essentially, right? Like you go in there and you have to be creative with a complete stranger. Like how do you break the ice and get them to feel comfortable letting that guard down and sharing that art?
I mean, I like to spend a lot of time just like talking and getting to know each other and like just finding things we have in common. Like,
sure.
Like I said, like having a lighthearted like workspace and like a connection where everyone can feel like they're being their genuine selves is going to make creating the music that much better. It's going to make it that much more fluid and natural. And I try my best to just get to know whoever I'm with and spend a really good amount of time just like chatting, because it's really, you can't just kind of meet someone new and just jump into something. It doesn't feel right. It feels weird.
Right. Yeah, totally.
We'll go walk and get a coffee or go get lunch or just sit in here for an hour and talk. And I mean, it always it's just hanging out, man.
Yeah.
Even if you hang out half the time and write the other half the time, like that's more productive than just going, all right, you're here. Okay. Welcome to my studio. Let's, how are you going to make something cool? Like that's so cold and uncomfortable and weird.
Right.
It's just not my style.
Sure. Have you ever felt like quitting and going a completely different direction?
At least 5 times.
Being a doctor?
I thought of it 5 times. Yeah.
Exactly 5?
Probably exactly 5 times. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking back and because I just thought about this recently many times. Yeah. At least 4 to 5 times.
Interesting. What was it that, made you, well, first of all, I guess, what the hell would you go do?
Well, that's what made me not quit.
Okay.
Easy answer.
Yeah. Cause that was it. Well, what are you going to go do?
No, literally, I'm not qualified for literally like anything else.
Dude,
like I'm completely like I'm horrible at like academic stuff.
Me too.
Like,
horrible. I dropped out of high school.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I've thought about that. I don't know, maybe construction or something. I like building stuff.
Yeah, dude, but that shit fucking, do you know how physically demanding that is?
Yeah.
If I had to go work, if I had to go work construction, I don't think I would last a day.
Same. But it sounds fun in theory. Like,
yeah, in theory.
Yeah, I'm drywalling my garage right now, and like it sucks.
It sucks. Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
Like there's already like I like did one of the seams bad, and like I spent so much time patching it, and there's already a crack that formed, so I have to like redo it and do like 5 more layers of spackle or whatever it's called on it. Like I can figure it out.
I'm so unhandy.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, yeah, dude. There's a reason that I paid somebody to do this to make my garage this when we moved in here. We bought the house 5 years ago. I'd still be working on it right now.
Yeah, I can do things. I just fucking hate it. And I tell you what else, I am terrified of like power tools, like a saw.
Yeah,
dude. My wife had me one time. She wanted like a geometric wall art. And I'm too cheap to pay somebody to do that, so we did it ourselves. Like getting your fingers like that close to the saw blade for the little dude, it is fucking terrifying.
Because you're supposed to take it that close.
A saw is not gonna stop for your finger. I got news for you.
No, I got a table saw. Yeah, those things are
scary.
Yeah, I always wear gloves with it. Like I have like.
Okay,
gloves so apparently it would stop it, but I
did the same thing. I wore gloves, and then there was one time I was working with one of those drills that it comes from the top.
Oh yeah,
and
a drill press.
Yeah, drill press, and it was like a turn on and off thing, like a button. And I had a glove on, and the glove got caught in the drill and in the bit and pulled, and I realized that. If I wasn't able to turn it off in time, it would have got my hand.
Oh, 100%. You would have been like, yeah, you would have broken like every bone in your.
So I felt like the glove made it worse. So now I'm scared to wear gloves, and yeah, I'm fucked. I don't know.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to succeed in this.
Yeah,
here.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're just not qualified.
I'll do shit for when I'm forced to. Other than that, like I climb into my attic that I probably need to do tomorrow. But
that's homeowner shit though. Like we have to deal with that stuff.
I'm trying to wait for a cool day, and then I realize it's fucking May, and my cool
May in
days.
Florida. Those don't exist.
Yeah, you look at the map, you're like, shit.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, all right, we'll go over. We'll head on into the meet and greet round. James is curious who your biggest influences in production are.
Well, when I started out, it was definitely Adam D.
Big same.
Yeah,
big same.
Definitely Adam D. I think we've talked about that before. Actually,
we had to have. He was my North Star for a long time.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, and I think most of them for me are like pop people. Like, I would say Max Martin is like, without a doubt, my number one.
The GOAT.
I mean, he's written literally like every big pop song ever. I mean, his musical sensibility is amazing, and I always just gravitate toward melody, and that's kind of his thing. And I would say he's my biggest. And then obviously there's other amazing producers like Jack Antonoff, of course. Like there's Ian Kirkpatrick, really great. Also, just to name like a couple. I mean, so for me, it's the pop dudes. As far as metal producers, like all my friends, like like True Folk, Wizard Blood, Zach Cervini, my partner here, Zach Tush, all those dudes are just crushing it. So, yeah, I think
that's awesome.
My guys.
He also would like to know, what is one band you would love to work with and put your spin on?
Ooh, I don't know. I haven't heard him yet.
I like that.
I'd like to develop another band. I think that's
interesting.
Yeah. It was like what I was saying before. Like, I'm more excited by writing up with someone trying to get to that next level rather than working with someone at the top. But I mean, I'll leave my words when Metallica hits me up.
Yeah, I bet you will. I have actually a spin-off question from that one. Is there an artist that you were like in the running to get a record for that like didn't work out that you really wish you would have gotten the record?
Oh shit. Oh,
that's a great question.
That is a really good question. There was a couple like test mixes that I lost.
Sure.
That always sucks, losing test mixes.
Yeah.
I think I lost. Yeah, I think, what did I lose? I lost like this was years ago. I haven't done a test mix for a while. Because I don't know why.
Because you're the GOAT. That's why.
No, it's because I don't mix that much. Is why. Animals as Leaders, I did a test mix for it. I wish I did that one. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
And there was another one too. Shit. I don't know. I'd have to remember. What's that big Australian band?
There's a Parkway Drive?
No.
North Lane?
No.
Polaris?
Nope.
Alpha Wolf?
Amity Affliction?
Amity Affliction?
Yeah, them. Yeah, I lost a test mix to them too.
That would have been cool.
I know.
I would love to hear a Bronstein mix of an Amity song. That would be sick.
Dude, my mix wasn't very good. I've gotten a lot better recently. But that's part of it. Like, you have to realize, like, it shouldn't have been. That was like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, right? So mixing's just one of those weird things where you get so much better every time you do it that it's like disgusting to listen to a mix from 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's like
interesting.
It's icky. It's like, oh my God, like how, and because the style changes so quickly as far as what frequencies are acceptable. And like how loud your kick is. Like, look, Cervini ruined it for all of us.
Yes, he did.
I hate you, Zach, if you watch this. I love you, but I hate you because his stuff just sounds so good. It's like, it's just, it really set the bar to a whole new thing. It really did.
And that's why he's mixing everything under the sun these days.
That's why I sent him my shit to mix. You know what I mean? He's mixing. Yeah, he just mixed Dayseeker. He mixed the Spirit Box shit. He mixed your guys' shit. Yeah, dude.
Yep, he is that guy right now for sure. Anyway, I've derailed this fan meet and greet question.
That's all right. Corey would like to know, and I don't know if you'll be able to answer these questions or not publicly, but what has been the easiest band you've worked with, And what has been the hardest band you've worked with?
The second half of that, he might not want to answer.
Right. Just say the Ghost Inside. We'll just say the Ghost Inside for sake of argument.
Yeah, you can say us for the hardest band. I'll take that.
No, you guys aren't hard at all. Dude, I don't know, man. That's a really tough question, man. That's a little bit loaded there too. I'll start with hardest. I think Silent Planet's the hardest band I've worked with.
Okay.
And it's not because they're hard to work with. They're amazing to work with. I love every single person in that band. I think they've been the most challenging. I want to replace hardest with the most challenging.
Sure. That's a good distinction.
Let's replace that. But I think but it resulted in something that I really think is amazing. Like, I think the reason that they were so hard is because it took such a long time to like arrive at the sound that the band's arrived at, and arrive at the mentality that the band's arrived at now. And I think that they would all, I would say this with them right here. I mean, we've all talked about this. I talk about it with Garrett all the time, and with Mitch, and with all those guys. And, because we're sitting here banging our head against the wall,
sure,
you know, a lot, just trying to figure. It's just very advanced. Everything. It's very dense. It's very advanced. The parts change really fucking quick, and it's like, how do you navigate a song like that?
Right.
You know, how do you possibly go through that? And then yeah, I think I mean, if the easiest, as far as like, I guess we could say like the easiest song that went from like writing to release was probably when I worked with this artist Amira El Fiki. She's awesome. I'm gonna actually see her later this month, but we did a song with her and my buddy Robbie in the studio where I think we had like a 5-hour session, and we wrote the song from start to finish. She recorded her vocals, and then I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go mix this and I'll send you my mix. And like a week later, I sent her the mix, and she's like, can we put the demo out? And so predominantly the song was the demo. So technically that was like probably the easiest, most fluid like thing by the artist's choice. I could have tortured myself.
Was that a blow to the ego or what?
No, it was a boost to the ego. I was like, wow, I guess it sounded good. Demo? Yeah, I was like, cool, sounds good to me, you know. But there's something to that too. Sure. You know, there's definitely something to that where like there's some magic in the demo, and she's more in tune with that kind of like more kind of youthful sound where everything's a little more edgy and maybe not so refined.
Sure.
So yeah, that one was pretty easy, just as one example.
Yeah, easy enough. All right, cool. We're going to jump into the day sheet round. Like I said, this is our rapid fire round. I'm just going to throw some questions at you. First thing that comes to mind, hit me with it.
Shit.
So
okay.
First thing we have here is what is your one piece of studio gear that you can't live without?
Distressor.
Good choice. Best compressor ever.
Did you see me blink? I didn't even blink.
That's fair. Artists you drop everything to work with tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Metallica.
That's another loaded one.
It is.
No, don't answer it for me. Meshuggah.
Yeah, fair.
That would be that would be a crazy full circle moment for sure. What was your first concert you ever went to?
Probably Summer Sanitarium, Metallica, Linkin Park, and
I saw that same tour here in DC.
Wow, dude, that was I
Metallica,
think it's one of
Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Deftones, Mudvayne.
Damn, dude, and that was for once time, man.
Peaked at my first concert.
Dude, to be fair, it was Metallica touring on Saint Anger, so like not their best work, but still Metallica.
Linkin Park didn't matter to me.
Linkin Park on Meteora, Limp Bizkit on Chocolate Starfish, Deftones on I don't remember, and then
I don't know.
Mudvayne on their second full length.
Not on the LD.
Yeah, I must have missed that invite for some weird reason.
It was just me and my dad, so
my dad took me too. My dad took me and my friend, and it was great. I was 12, probably. It was awesome.
So because my dad wasn't into music, I had to suffer. That's fine.
You asshole, get out of here. We're not doing that in this episode. We've made it all the way to the end of this one, and we're not doing it now. This is the thing he does all the time, Dan. Don't pay attention to him.
Well, I'm not doing it.
Okay. Weirdest session story that you're allowed to share?
All right. I mean, it's pretty gross, but can I talk about piss?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So my studio used to only have a bathroom in the upstairs of the office building that it's in.
This is already not a good start.
So to get to the bathroom from the studio was it's like a minute to get there, right? So sometimes, I worked with a lot of like artists that were used to touring and were down to pee in a bottle. So sometimes like during sessions, we'd just like, we'd be here late and we'd be getting really lazy and people would pee in a bottle. And sometimes like a cup. And there were times it just got out of hand where it was like, what can we pee into? That would be the funniest.
Yeah.
And it was like, it got extremely out of hand. Like I had a dresser kind of type thing, like a TV stand or something on the side of like the room. And everyone had like, maybe there's a few people in there and there's like 5 cups and like 7 like beer cans and like 6 water bottles. They're all full of piss. Like the whole thing. Like we're just working and there's all this piss in the room. And we like everyone thought it was so funny. Like everyone. And I was walking over to it and I like tripped.
Oh.
And I hit one of the cups and it caused a chain reaction. And all of the piss poured just out of the cups onto my floor. And there was just a huge puddle of piss. And that was pretty nasty.
That was when you moved studios.
Well, I've definitely changed the carpet since then and changed that. Yeah, it's been changed. But those are the days, man. Those are the days.
The old
you could ask any
days.
artist. You could ask any artist that's been to my studio before 2018.
Crazy, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What's your go-to comfort food after a very long session day?
A very long session day.
Yeah, like you do a marathon day. What's your like I need to fucking treat myself meal?
Probably like Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets.
Dude, why are they so good? They shouldn't be as good as they are.
The whole meal though would be the taco salad and then the spicy chicken nuggets.
Okay, very specific. All right.
Yeah.
I know the answer to this just because I've spent so much time with you, but I'm going to ask anyway. Coffee or tea?
You can answer for me, Chris.
It's coffee.
Okay, thank you.
It's coffee. You may be the only person that can hang with our band on coffee intake.
Dude, I think like I was like so messed up at the end of every day from drinking so much coffee. Like, dude, these fools, you guys would get 2 ventis each of cold brew.
Yeah.
That's like 800 milligrams of caffeine in a day. And I remember at the end of the day, I'd be so tired. I'm like, why am I so tired?
Yeah, it's because you like ruined your adrenal glands with caffeine all day. Yeah, but see, it doesn't matter if you're not counting how many milligrams you have. Then none of them count. You know what I mean?
That's a fair statement.
If you're not counting, then who can tell you how much you've had? Whatever.
Tell that to Panera Bread, dude.
Well,
tell that to Panera Bread.
That's true. They did have to pay out some large sums of money, and I should have got in on that.
I'm suing Ghost Inside for over caffeinating me.
Well.
They can afford it.
No, I don't want to. Nope. I got kids to feed, Dan. Don't make me run broke here. Right. If you weren't producing music, what would you be doing instead? We already kind of covered this. Potentially construction.
Yeah, potential. I don't know. Something that involves like building things.
Sure.
Don't know what that is.
Dream vacation.
Oh, I want to go to Thailand. Really bad.
Okay. And then here's the last one for the rapid fire. Favorite nu metal band?
Probably Mudvayne.
That's not one I think most people would go to. I appreciate Mudvayne, but okay. What era of Mudvayne are we talking? Yes.
New.
Yes. What era of Mudvayne are we talking here though? We talking about LD50?
I'm talking about LD50.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Respect.
that was probably actually the only like nu metal band I ever listened to.
Crazy. Yo, you jumped right over that.
I never did like what are the other ones like Chimera and
dude, I wouldn't consider. Well, I guess early
who's
Chimera
new metal?
Was.
Who's
Korn,
Limp Bizkit,
Mudvayne.
Oh, you're calling that new metal?
Yeah, early of that stuff is definitely new metal.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah, I would say.
That's
so weird. That's so weird because like to me, like new metal is like a different category.
Slipknot definitely fell in new metal for a minute. Yeah, they definitely got lumped in that.
In my
Limp
brain,
Bizkit,
in my brain, those bands are so good that they don't go into the category of new metal.
Are you saying new metal is a derogatory term?
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't think Slipknot. Slipknot to me wasn't new metal. Slipknot was
they got lumped in with that though.
That was like my pilgrimage to heavy music. Was
okay, if we're talking, to me those bands are all so unique. Like to me, new metal is like
what do you call it then? 90s?
It's like new metal is like a very like rigid sound to me. Like it's like that sort of like dreads. You know, the guys have dreads and like the riffs are really basic.
In Korn has dreads, right?
Well, I said the riffs are really basic was the next thing I said.
Sure.
And that's, dude, Korn, I don't know. I just don't think of it as new metal. I don't know why. In my mind, they're like, they are their own genre of metal. I wouldn't, to me, it's a diss to call them new metal. I would say of those bands, Korn is my favorite.
All right.
Sure.
Fair enough. All right, Josh, let's hit him with the last one.
Last question. If you had a 5-minute conversation right now with Dan from Volumes, what would the message be?
Stop. Just throw away everything I just said about going through hell and just throw it all out the window. No, I'm totally joking. No, I would the opposite. It would be
just play him that Rodney Atkins song.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
and then push play on Rodney Atkins.
Jesus Christ, he's not going to let go of that.
I'm not. I'm going to find. I'm going to find a YouTube link and send it to both of you.
I won't either.
Let me lie, dude. Let me lie.
All right, lie to him. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll listen later.
Whatever, man.
All right, Dan, thank you so much for giving us so much of your time today, dude. This was awesome. This is honestly one of my favorite episodes so far. And
I'm just going to start sending you both Rodney Atkins links every day.
Boy. Dan, I'm sorry in advance for my friend here.
Don't give him my phone number.
Until I got Instagram, I'll find your ass. until I get proof that you have listened.
You have to get, you'll send me like one of those links that you can check to see if someone opened it.
Can you do that?
Short link or whatever.
All right, cool. I didn't know you could do that.
Dan, thank you again for doing this. This was awesome. I appreciate you. You're a great friend. And
been a lot of fun.
Same, dude.
I'm looking forward to the next time we get to hang out, hopefully sooner rather than later.
I know, man. I'm super down to hang soon. I'm sure we'll cross paths soon. But yeah, dude, thanks for having me. Both you guys. It was super fun to chat.
Of course.
It's been cool.
See ya. Hey everyone, Chris here, and I just wanted to take a second to say thanks for watching today's episode. You can check out more episodes of Late for Load-In on the right side of your screen and find any applicable links to this episode in the description down below. There you'll also find a link to our Patreon, which is the most direct way to support the show, and it's only $1 a month. Please consider giving this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to follow us on all social platforms, at Late for Load-In, at Chris_TGI, at Josh Carell. See you guys next week.